Hello, hello, hello everybody. This is Alyssa from Main Arts and Crafts, and today we are here for a very long overdue year in review for 2024. So that's what we're gonna do. Yes, that was quite a long time ago. Sushi, get out of the window. She's like sticking her head between the blinds. No, Susu, you can sit and look. You don't need to go in. You don't yell at me. Don't squeak at me. Here's some squeaky paws for your viewing pleasure. There's a squeak. She just squeaked at me. Don't yell at me. We're seeing your face. She's not happy because I won't let her shove herself in between the blinds of the curtain. Or the curtain slats, whatever, the slats of the blinds, whatever you want to call them. So anyways, we're going to go through my 2024 year in review, which is long overdue. I promised it. I was like, I need to organize all of these canvases that are in like random locations. So now here we are. We're going to go through and break it out. So first up, we're going to start with like the small projects, like the Paintgems, mini Dazzles. Then we're going to go into like cross stitch conversions, and then from there we're going into mini kits and then into the regular kits because I logged these all separately in my gems flow. So we're gonna start off with and I have my handy dandy book. I marked my logbook. I marked things so I could actually go. So the first one that I have for the mini kits and paint gems, and I will bring you guys down a little bit so you can see better. There we go. So first up, we have Exotic Fruits. This is by Paintgem. It's an 8x12 square, 35 colors. There were, I think, 12 in this one. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, 12 in this one. I started this one on the 29th of November in 2023 and finished it the 7th of January. And it took me 8 hours to finish these. And my thoughts on these, they were basically, it was a standard paint gem. I had no issues with it. As you can see, here's our different our fruits, our exotic fruits that we had for this paint gem set. No issues with it. It was pretty much a standard paint gem. It was my first finish of 2024, so that was kind of cool. Next up, I did the Traditional Foods paint gem. This is also 10 by 15. They are square drills as they always are. 46 colors in this set, and it had of course no specials in the paint gems. So this set I started on the 2nd of February and finished on the 22nd of February, and this is back in 2024. And I actually did I started the Asian traditional foods, like the tom yum, sushi, ramen, the thali, the jozi, and those I started. So there's the jiaozi. I started those during my Lunar New Year event, so that way I would have, that was kind of like one of the things that I finished during the Lunar New Year. It was the exotic, or was the traditional Asian dishes that were in this. So this is one that it took me 9 hours and 55 minutes to finish this set here, all 12 of those. So that's that first one. And next up on our list of to finishes is the butterflies. So the butterflies, another paint gem, 10 by 15 standard size square, 38 colors. I started these ones on the 27th of April, and I actually finished these ones on the 30th of April. So I cruised through these. Took me 9 hours and 58 minutes to do these. I did have, they were pretty much good to go. There was one butterfly that had really poor adhesive, and I had to add adhesive to a corner of one of the butterflies because it wasn't, the drills weren't sticking. So that was the butterfly set, and there are 16 butterflies. These took me 9 hours and 58 minutes. I think I already said that. But that is the butterflies. And then next up for my paint gem sets are the mandalas. So the mandalas were probably one of my favorite ones. I need to get them, put them back into those little white or those little clear plastic ones because this black one, the binding is coming out of. So this set, 10 by 10, I absolutely loved the mandalas. This is probably one of my favorite ones that I've done to date. Square, 30 colors, no specials. Started these on the 3rd of May, and I finished them on the 4th of June. So my thoughts on this, I just wrote fave. I absolutely loved doing these. They were so much fun, kind of relaxing doing mandalas. I love doing mandalas. And there were 12 mandalas in this set. And you can see we ended with a fancy one right there. So there were 12 mandalas. Next up we have, I have these all organized so I can make my way through them in a semi-organized fashion. You can see I got my little pieces of paper because I can't find sticky notes. I have 1,000,005 sticky notes at work in my office, but apparently none of them here. So now we have my first Diamond Art Club mini Dazzles set. So these are from Diamond Art Club. They're 10 by 15. They're squares, 23 colors. This is going to be the Diner Foods. This was the first one they released. It has 2 ABs, 1 iridescent, and then 20 fairy dust. So I started these on the 6th of July, and I actually finished them on the 6th of July. I love that pizza slice. It's so pretty. The ice cream cone. Then we have our drumstick, our hot dog, our burger and fries. Yeah, so there's usually just 6 on those. So those ones only took me 3 hours and 27 minutes. Thoughts, the cheese melt with the iridescent or the crystal drills looked really good, and it was super fun to do. So that was my thoughts on those. So now, next up, we are back to another paint gem. So for this one, we have the birds for Paint Gem. These are 10 by 15, 37 colors. I started them on the 6th of July and finished them on the 23rd of July. And as you can see here, we got all different types of birds. I love the peacock. That one's pretty cool. These ones took me 9 hours and 39 minutes. And my thoughts, good to go, super cute. This one was my absolute favorite, was doing my little pink flamingo. But as you can see, here they are. I will probably end up transferring all of these into those same little style containers that I got off of, or like portfolios I got off of Temu, because they just fit better and they don't like fall out like these. I do have to trim the edges of these paint gems to do that though. But apparently I decided to, yeah, so this one had 16 birds in this one here. As you can see, we now have 2 there, 2 there, 14, 15, and then 16, because I had to do that in order to fit them all in. And then from there, we are going to go into our next one, which we have on my little book, is the makeup set from Diamond Art Club. This is one of their mini Dazzles. Artist for this, for both the exotic, or both the Diners foods and the makeup, was Pixie Sticks. So I love doing her artwork. So these ones I started on the they're 10 by 15 squares, 23 colors, and all fairy dust, 23 fairy dust. Started these on the 23rd of June, finished them on the 23rd of June, because it only took me 2 hours and 51 minutes to finish this set. And I love the pastels of these. And of course, yes, I have kept all of these leftover special drills, because why not? So that is the makeup set. And I said so fun, would be good to have a sign of orientation for these, because you have no idea when you're working on it which way it's supposed to go in a way. So that was something that I did right. I kind of wish that there was an orientation to them to make it easier for some of these things to be like, well, which way is it supposed to go? And then next up we have Classic Flowers, which is another mini Dazzle from Diamond Art Club. This one also 10 by 15 squares, 17 colors, and in that we had 1 AB and 16 fairy dust. And the AB is this one kind of outlining that leaf right there. I love that extra little glimmer of those ones there. And this one I started on the 12th of August, finished on the 14th of August. Took me 3 hours and 40 minutes. And my thoughts on this, I just wrote pleasure. So I've been kind of documenting like the little bit of the annotation of how I thought about them as I did them. I don't know why I put those first and then butterflies second, because it's going to bother me, so I'm going to have to go through and put them in the order that I completed them. So then we have our exotic flora, also 10 by 15. These ones were squares as well, 22 colors, 1 AB, 1 fairy dust. I started these on the 14th of August, finished on the 14th of August, took me 3 hours and 36 minutes. This one always looks like a bird to me because it's a bird of paradise. So you can see we've got those exotic flowers in there. My house in Virginia used to have like vine after vine of the passion fruit, these guys right here, like, and it would take over, and those flowers are so pretty, and that looks very much like that. And then our lily pad is the last one there. And I said it would be nice to have the names of the types of plants like on the sticker or something like that, because you have no idea what the plants are. So I kind of wish that I knew what the plants were. So that was my thoughts on that one. And then next up, we have the Halloween set from Diamond Art Club. This is the mini Dazzles as well. 10 by 15 squares, 13 colors. They had 1 AB and 12 fairy dust. These ones I cruised through. They're pretty simple because, I mean, they're pretty straightforward. I started these on the 4th of October and finished them on the 7th of October. I love that little ghosty. And it took me 2 hours and 42 minutes. You can see the AB in our little pumpkin face. The bat was super cute. I like that little hand. And then, of course, you got the trick or treat. And my thoughts, fun and spooky. That was kind of what I put there on those ones. Just a few more left. So next up, we have houseplants. I believe this is Houseplants 2.0. Yes, I forgot to write the 2.0 on that. Houseplants 2.0, because I've already showed Houseplants 1.0 the previous year. So this one I have not put these ones in a little portfolio thing. I need to. 10 by 15 square. They have 43 colors, 0 specials. These ones are a little bit more colorful than the other ones. I started these on the 31st of October and finished them on the 11th of November. And it took me 7 hours and 45 minutes. And I said started while driving, fun and typical. They had the trashy black, so whenever you had the 310, that was kind of trashy. But yeah, I started these while I was driving from cross country from California to Florida. So that was kind of something that I had definitely done with that. So there's 16 of these ones, and I love those colorful ones there. They're definitely sparkly drills, and that cactus was really fun to do. And then our last one there. So some of the placement on them and everything is kind of janky and weird because I, again, started these while I was driving. And then next up is going to be the retro Paintgems. This one was a super fun one to do. There are also 16 designs in this one, 10 by 15 squares, 38 colors. They're super colorful. These would have been perfect to have done with special drills. Started these on the 15th of November and finished them on the 17th of November. And it took me 6 hours and 57 minutes. And my thoughts on these, they were so fun to do, was my thoughts on these ones because, you know, it brought me back to my childhood, that nostalgia kind of feeling doing these, which is why they were kind of done as retro, which kind of cracks me up that I think that's supposed to be a skateboard. Yes, that's a skateboard because there's a wheel, and then the bottom of the board, and then it just threw wings around it, which always threw me off. So here are all of those specials, or all of those little mini kits that you see here. So it's kind of fun doing something that, you know, kind of brought me back. No signal. 14. And then here is our Super Nintendo and ice cream thing. So yeah, I loved the colors. Anything that's like rainbowy is kind of like my happy place and really enjoyable. So that was pleasant. And then the last one is over into my new logbook. So this was the Christmas Advent from Diamond Art Club. There's only 6 of them for this here. Let me go back. There we go. So it came in the Advent box. They were 10 by 15s. They were squares, 22 colors, 1 AB, 1 special, 20 fairy dust. I started them on the 5th of December, finished them on the 6th of December. It took me 3 hours and 59 minutes. My thoughts, super fun. I did run short of Y193, which is this big one right here. So I had to, basically, they were able to send me more, but as you can see, the color doesn't quite match exactly of what those two were, so that kind of throws me off a little bit. They drafted their shipping label, well, because I contacted them because I was short of drills, and they did do the shipping label basically as soon as like 7 minutes after I sent the email. I had a shipping label created for these, which was super fast and everything, which was great. I did end up so I did want to finish, so I think I ended up, actually what I marked in my notes is I pulled one of that same drill color, which is that one, from my Mickey Mouse ornament, which had only 1 extra so I could finish, but it's supposed to be the same color, but it's still a slightly different color. And then they sent me replacement drills, so I did get those, but I was like, do I really want to wait or not? And I decided not. So those are all of the little mini sets for that. Or those are all of my Paintgems, which are logged in my logbook. Next up, we have my cross-stitch conversions, which I'm only going to go over the cross-stitch conversions that I completed it as like mini sets if it's cross stitch conversion, and it was also falls into the regular painting finish category. It goes in this massive pile underneath. So first up, these are a couple that I do not have in stock. So this is Kawaii Fox, and this is from Sarah Bauman, which is Needleminder Lair. And this is one that I actually did as a gift for my brother. So there is the Kawaii Fox right there. Super, super cute. I loved doing this one. And there is, I framed it and sent it to my, mailed it to my, well actually, yeah, I think I just brought it to my brother when I visited him instead of trying to mail it. So that is Kawaii Fox. It was super fun. Loved it. I actually did that one with round drills. Well, actually, no, those ones were squares. These ones are square drills. So I started that one on December 30th, finished on January 6th, and it had 11 colors. So yes, so that was Kawaii Fox. That's the first one. And then we have Essie. So this is one, my mom's dog Essie. I started it on December 28th and finished it on January 7th. And this is a custom from the Dog Stitchery on Etsy. It's a 15 by 20 centimeter. I forgot to say how big the Kawaii Fox was, a 16.5 by 25 centimeter. So Essie, this is my mom's dog Essie. She has 11 colors, and this is basically the finish for her. But then that's what it looked like framed, and kind of, this is like the super close up, and then this is framed kind of set. I did these as squares, and this is what my mom has it hanging up at their place because it's, you know, her baby. So I sent some photos of Essie, and that's what they did. And they created that one. And then I also had to do one of Ruby, her other dog. So this one is a 17 by 17, has 11 colors, and I started it on January 11th and finished it on January 13th by the same person, the Dog Stitchery. The first one, Essie, was for Christmas, and Ruby was for my mom's birthday, which is in, her birthday is in January. So there is Ruby's face for that. Super, super cute. So I love the eyes on this. Her eyes look fantastic. So those were those first couple. And then I also, let's see, and then from there, we've got the ones that I actually have right here. So next up is Chibi Haku, which is our little adorable one right here. This one is probably one of my favorite ones. I have not cut these out, and like, I need to frame this one because it's so much my favorite. So this has 14 colors. It's a 14.5 by 16.3 centimeter little mini. I started it on July 6th, finished it on July 7th, and it took me an hour and 38 minutes. I didn't say how long the other ones took, but I'm not going to go back. And then I did Tiny Gigi, which is all, these are all by the same artist. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I got them all off of Etsy as little cross-stitch patterns, and I just did them as cross-stitch conversions. This one is Tiny Gigi. This is a 10 by 12, supposedly, but it's not quite that. So it's like, yeah, it's small. I think it's actually smaller than that, because that's not 10 right there. So it's something tiny. And this one was 5 colors, started on July 7th, finished on July 7th, and it took me an hour and 24 minutes. But I love Tiny Gigi, super cute. And then I did the stacked heads, which is this one right here. They're a little bit darker, but they're still pretty cool. This one took me 2 hours and 12 minutes because there's more colors to it. It has 11 colors. I started this one. This is a 7.5 by 15, so I think that one's going to be like an 8 by 12, not a 10 by 12. 7.5 by 15, and I started at July 7th, finished July 8th. Like I said, 2 hours and 12 minutes. And then we have Mouse and Bird. So these are all Ghibli things, in case you're wondering. So then we have Mouse and Bird, which is super cute. This one has 10 colors. Started at July 8th, finished July 8th. It's a 10 by 20, supposedly, but realistically, I think that's more of like the 8 by 20. I don't know why it's saying 10. Maybe that's the smallest size that this goes down to, because that's definitely not a 10. And it took me 2 hours and 9 minutes to do this one right here. So I thought that was super cute. I loved doing these. They were super fun. And I was able to fit 4 of them on one of these 30 by 30 blank canvases that I have a ton of from Jade. Because I have a ton of little patterns I want to do. So if I can fit a bunch of them on one, and then I can like cut them out, put a border around them, things like that. So that's what I did for those ones. So now we have the minis. Let me go ahead and go into my finishes, because these are ones that I do not log in my logbook for mini kits. So I have to actually go through them and be like, all right, here are the minis. So, because we did the cross stitches, and then we did the Paintgems, and we did the mini Dazzles. So now we're going to look at the mini sets. So these are all going to be tiny little mini kits that I've done off of like little, some of them are random, like these ones are Amazon type ones. So we have the bunny, which is kind of cute. I liked to kind of frame this. I think these were like little Temu ones. This is a 15 by 15, 9 colors. Started it January 20th, finished it January 20th, and it took me an hour and 37 minutes. And then we have a cupcake. So this cutie pie right here has a little bit, it has some specials. Well, actually, I can't remember if it came with specials or if I added the special. Yes, I added specials to this one, it looks like. It had 9 colors. It took me an hour and 43 minutes. It's a 15 by 15 as well. I started it February 11th, finished February 11th. And I added 2 pixie dust and 3 ABs to it. So you can see there's a pale pink pixie dust. I think I'm gonna have to turn on the overhead to be able to show you those. So it's got that pale pink pixie dust, which is super, super pale right there. And then an AB, and then a pink AB, or a bright pink AB. And then I've got a little bit of a blue AB, the white AB, blue fairy dust, or pixie dust, whatever you want to call it. So there's pink and blue pixie dust right down there. Kind of subtle, hard to tell, but it's super, super adorable. We're going to leave that at light on for these little ones because I can. And that one, hour 43 minutes to do that one there. And then we have Doggy Donut. This is another 15 by 15. Started it February 16th, finished February 16th. These are rounds, in case you were wondering. These 3 have all been rounds so far. It took me 2 hours and 2 minutes and had 12 colors. So kind of cute, just little fun ones to do. I like these little one-offs. They're super fun. This one is actually from Enabler's Outpost. This is Hearts. It came in one of their boxes, one of the monthly boxes, I believe. Started this one February 16th, finished February 16th. It's a 10 by 15, and it has 7 colors. And I thought this one was super cute, and it was easy to do. And then we're back to our regular minis. So this is, these next few are all from Fallen Gems. So this one is Lemonade. It's a 15 by 15, 15 colors. I started it on May 6th and I finished it on May 6th. This one was a round, and I've done a post review of these. You can see they've got those really dark guide circles, so it was really prominent. Also very much done with a computer render. After that one, we have Milkshake. This is a 15 by 15. Took me 2 hours and 7 minutes, 17 colors. Also from Fallen Gems. It's a square. I started it May 6th, finished it May 7th. And you can see this one wasn't as bad. There's a little bit of gapping in some areas, but realistically not too bad. It's just it has a very dark, has like a grid behind it, which was also made it so you could see a lot of the dark around it. Very much confetti as well for that one. And then we have Pink Latte. This is also from Fallen Gems. It's 15 by 15, 16 colors. Started it May 7th, finished it May 7th, and it took me 2 hours on the dot. Also with those really prominent guide circles and very much the confetti for that one. So next up is Camera. This is also from Fallen Gems. This is a 20 by 20, still rounds. This is started June 11th, finished June 11th, and it took me 3 hours and 1 minute to do that one right there. So that is our Camera. I do like how that one turned out. And that one, the guide circles were significantly less prominent on this slightly larger size. Also, the canvas felt better than that last canvas on that one there. And then also from Fallen Gems, we have Corgi. This one definitely had the gapping in the squares. You can see some space all throughout there. So quite the gapping on this one. This one is a 20 by 20, 24 colors. Started at June 11th, finished at June 11th, and it took me 3 hours and 35 minutes. And again, very much the confetti with Corgi. And then also from Fallen Gems, we have Plant Haven. So this is a 20 by 20, 24 colors, square drills. Started it June 13th, finished it June 14th, and it took me 4 hours and 20 minutes. And that was because, again, there was so much of the confetti to do on this one. I think I only had color blocking right there on the white. But again, you can see a lot of the gapping in those squares for that one there. And then we have Mermaid. This one is probably one of my favorite little tiny things that I've done. This is Mermaid. It's by Jada Gem Shop, and it's from Jada Gem Shop, so it's one that she actually created the art for. This is a 15 by 17.5. It has 13 colors, started at July 20th, finished at July 20th, and it took me 2 hours and 45 minutes, and I added a bunch of specials. So I added this like turquoise crystal right there into her hair. I also added like a brown metallic, coppery metallic into her hair. This, we've got some, and then as you come down, I did a green metallic for her top, and then also for the edge of her fin, of her body. And then we have a pixie dust glimmer drill of a turquoise color in here, and then we have a blue AB right there. So that's what gives it that shimmer. And then I did it kind of like a little bit of fading in the background. So this, we've got a little bit of like a blue AB in this background right here, very pale blue AB, fading into a white AB, which then kind of fades up into here. You can see this is all a white pixie dust or glimmer, depending on how you want to think of it, because I think I used a lot of like Jada Gem Shop special drills that she carries to do this, because this is one that we got as like a little thing for the Crafters Paradise retreat last year, and I love how she turned out. She's super cute. But that one was a pleasure to work on. And next up we have Baubles. This is also from Jada Gem Shop. It's a tiny, tiny little one. It's an 11 by 11. Started at September 19th, finished at September 19th. It took me an hour and 4 minutes, and I did not add any specials to this one. God forbid. I was like, nope, didn't. I just did it. I needed a little bit of a palette cleanser, so that's what it was. And then we have Galaxy Tea, and this is from Diamond Delights. And I love these little mini kits that she's got. I need to do more of them. This is called Galaxy Tea. It's an 18 by 12 square drills, and it has 3 fairy dust in it. I started it on November 6th, finished it November 6th, and the artist is Sarah Bauman. And I love the pastels. The pastels just are like heavenly on this. So yeah, we've got a blue, a white, or like a teal, a white, and then this purple pixie dust, or fairy sparkle as she's calling them, which was super, super fun. It took me an hour and 54 minutes. I can't remember if I said that. And then we have Harvest Palette number 1. This is from Diamonds on Canvas. Square drills, 10 colors with 2 fairy dust in here. I started this one, we're going to zoom out so we can see it a little bit better. I started this one on November 6th, finished it on November 6th, and it took me 3 hours and 7 minutes. So here you've got this, super cute. I like how it turned out. The canvas is like particularly thick and sturdy compared to a lot of other canvases. And the drill field was actually really not bad on this one here, so I was pleased with that. But you can see we have like this purpley sparkle here. It's a 902. And then we also have the 972, which is that orange right in there. So it looks like a brown, but it's actually a purple when you look at it close up. And then I did Harvest Palette number 4, which I started, well, see the first one, the one that I just showed, I started on November, yeah, it's November 6th to November 6th, I said that. Then we have Harvest Palette number 4. This is also from Diamonds on Canvas. This is also same size, 15 by 25, has 18 colors, which included 2 of the fairy, like the sparkle drills. Started at November 7th, finished at November 7th. Took me 2 hours and 57 minutes. This one, as you can see, is a little bit harder to make out because the picture that was chosen was, I feel like, a little bit too, almost borderline too small for this size canvas. But the drill quality was excellent, and the drill field was wonderful. It was fine to work on. It's just a little on the small side, as you can see. It's kind of very much pixelated, which is fine. For that one. And then the last one of these mini kits is Great Wave. This is also by the artist Sarah Bauman from Diamond Delights. It is a round one, as you can see. It's a 20 by 20 round, 11 colors. Started at November 7th, finished at November 8th. And it has 5 fairy dust in this one. It took me 4 hours and 21 minutes. So I love this one. I just did a little bit of a post review. It's like, the one thing is like there's this sticky around the perimeter that I need to figure out how to get rid of, because I like using my washi tape and I can't do that in a circle. That'd be way too much work. But I love how this turned out. I love the pastels. I love the wave itself. It's one of my, probably, Hokusai is one of my favorite masters, one of my favorite artists. I love Hokusai's wood prints. And this is, you know, a classic one, but like a cool take on a classic scene. But that is Great Wave. So yes, I'm super excited for that one. And then before we go into the big canvases, I am going to showcase a couple of the, also from Diamond Delight. I don't have these logged into my logbook, so I have no clue how long they took me to do, but these are some of the stickers from Diamond Delight. So here was a freebie, little square, thank you. And then we have Pastel Night Sky, artist Sarah Bowman. This one was also one of those tiny ones. It has a lot of specials, 1 AB and 3 of the sparkle drills. And it's super, super cute. And you can see how little that is. And then we have Pastel Tori, which is adorable as well. Same size. It also has 3 of those sparkle drills. And it's a sticker. And then we have Galaxy Ice Cream. And this is also by the artist Sarah Bowman. And then here's another one from Sarah Bowman. This is Galaxy Ice Cream. And it's super cute. So I do need to put a few of those that will fit into my sticker book right here. This is all of my Diamond Delights stickers that I have in this book. So you can see here, I've put the stickers in here so that way I've got them, you know, I can kind of look through and see what they look like. I think most of these were purchases in 2024. Some of them may have been 2023. I can't remember when Elvira opened her shop, but these are ones. And then these ones were some of her very first ones that she did, were like the cat donuts. These ones here, they're super, super cute. So I thought they were a pleasure, and I had to have like a separate book for all of these. And then we have the dog stickers. And then a couple dogs left over there. And then we have these pastel potions, because there's combinations. Some of these little ones are rounds, and then you'll get some of the little ones are squares. And then you have this one right here, which is a plant. It's square. It's super cute. Adorable. I love how they turned out. Here is like a succulent, like a telephone succulent one. And then there's the succulents and the boots. So these are all things that are available on her shop. And then we have the sailors. So she had the different sailors right in here. So Sailor Moon, Sailor Mars, and Mercury. So I love how, and I did those for the Sailor Moon paint a lot. And then we have these little flowers here, which were adorable. And then we have some Ghibli ones. Ghibli ones. I love my Ghibli ones. And those have a perfect balance of ABs. So like you can see the eyes, the accents of the makeup is the red AB. And then of course you've got a Totoro. Well, here's our Totoro. And look at them. They're so cute. This is probably one of my favorites right here is this one. But I'll be able to, I might be able to fit the round ones in this sticker book, and that would leave just the Galaxy Ice Cream that does not fit because it's a little bit too big for my pages. But the Pastel Tories will fit in there, and the thank you card will fit in there. So those were the little mini things that I have done. And now I am going to go over, we're going to do a look at the big ones, but yes, so that is next up on our agenda. Okay, now we're on to the actual finishes, like what I actually log in my logbook as far as finishes are concerned. So we need to go back here to the beginning. So first up, we have Cat with Big Eyes. This is from Lazy River Crafts. It is, which is no longer in business. This is a 60 by 62. As you can see, it's fairly big. Love how the art looks. The artist for this is Jonghae. It is round drills, 45 colors, 2 ABs. I started this on the 31st of August and finished it on the 31st of August 2023 and finished it on the 17th of January 2024. So it took me a hot minute to do. I did add some specials to it. It took me 32 hours, 49 minutes. I did this for Claws and Paws 2023 and then did it in the Wrap Up a Whip of 2024. So the enhancements I added, let's see, 1 AB, 2 AB, 3 ABs, 1 glitter, 1 crystal AB, and 2 crystals. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 specials that I did. So I did them in the flowers. So you can see I added some ABs and crystal and a glitter into the flowers. Yes, I've got a purple glitter drill down here. There's a purple that we can see in there. So there's interspersed that brighter color. That's a glitter drill. And I added a crystal AB into the yellow of the background. So that's what you're seeing for a lot of this color here. Has a crystal AB added to it. Same thing, you'll see it kind of scattered around right up into here. But I added that as a crystal AB to add a little accent. And then I also did the crystals in other ABs. So the flowers ended up having a lot of specials added to them. And this one, my thoughts, seems very dark in the left corner. So very much dark in that left corner. For this one here, as you can see, darkness. And a couple of the symbols were hard to read with the light pad because they had they had white letters, so that was a little tricky with a couple of those symbols. But that is my first finish of the year of 2024, first finish of January, and my 48th finish of all time. So next up we have Midnight Owl. So this is from the artist Jeremiah Kettner, and this kit is from Diamond Art Club. And it is a 51 by 64 rounds with 35 colors, and it came with 2 ABs. I did the blinged the everything out of this. I used, I think, the DP with Sparklers Spark Enhancement Kit for this one here. And then I added a couple additionals as well. So this one I started on the 3rd of January, finished it on the 20th of January, and it took me 18 hours and 47 minutes, so much faster. I did have issues with the adhesive on this, but so the adhesive was very much lackluster, but I did love working on it. A Jeremiah Kettner is a wonderful kit to be able to do, and I did this for the Kettner Diamond Art 2024. So this has a ton of enhancements. As you can see, this is my entire list of enhancements right there. This is from the enhancement set from DP with Sparklers, so basically a lot of stuff. We ended up with some quad cubes in the owl, we have ABs in the owl, we have some crystals, some bubble starfish outlining the eye. We have all sorts of specials in this one here, and then all of these quad cubes as these accents that you see there. And then I also added an AB in the leaves, AB 701 in the leaves. I felt like it needed that, and I also added a little bit into the tips of the leaves right here, and then this, and then there's another shade of green that I added as like a pixie dust or something, or where it was supposed to be pixie dust for these. And then I did the quad cubes. So basically there are a couple other specials that I added on beyond what I called for. But this one was a super fun one to do. I loved it. I love like the little bubbles all around the eyes are super cool. And then of course the quad cubes right there. This was wonderful. Had a blast doing it. And that is finish number 2 of the year and 49th finish of all time. So next up is another, like I was in like a role as far as big kits are concerned. So this next one is a massive one. This is Secret Temple from Diamond Art Club. It's a 98 by 70 square drills, 78 colors with 5 ABs. I started it on the 2nd of January, finished it on the 4th of February. So it did take me basically a month to do. And it took me 73 hours and 24 minutes. So it took a hot minute to do this one. I did the DP with Sparklers enhancement set, which you can see those are all the enhancements. I'm not going to go over them because it's like everywhere in this canvas. But that's something that I loved doing their enhancement kit. It just made it easy to know, okay, hey, we're doing the kit and blinging up with the kit. So we've got ABs added in everywhere. You've got ABs and pearls, or like the pearls for squares in here. We've got some glitter drills. We've got some AB. We've got some, all of like the crystals that we have added in here as well. I think this is before the fairy dust or the pixie dust became a thing. So yeah, maybe, yeah, well, no, I think there is a pixie dust in here. But yes, it's a little bit down into some areas, but it's a subtle thing. Like those are much harder to see, the pixie dust, compared to the other stuff. Like I love seeing the detailing in this, like the clouds and the sky have a lot of specials into them. You can see that glitter of the ABs. There's probably like 5 different ABs up into the sky at least. And then as we come down, this is so massive. I love how the crystals ended up in the bridge, and then of course we've got the water. It has a ton of specials into it, the plants, the glitter drills coming down, and I love the building has a lot of crystals added in as well. All of the red is crystals, and then we have the rocks and everything else. So this one was lovely. My thoughts, I had a very seriously tight grid to it. It was stunning, but I really did not like how tight the grid was. I did this for Ticket to Ride 2024, Blinging in the New Year, and Lunar New Year DP 24. And this was my 50th canvas that I finished. It was my 3rd one of the year, but my 50th canvas of all time. It was a pleasure to do. It is just a beast though, and I do not enjoy doing ones that size, so I try to avoid it. But yes, that was a big one. So now we have some tamer sized kits now. So next up we have this one here, which, did I say what the artist was for that one? I don't think I said the artist. So it's Secret Temple was by the artist Image World. So now we have bamboo candles. So this is a Temu kit. So it was one of the ones I still had in my stash. Still had this sitting in my hoard, so I decided to work on it because I just wanted bamboo. It's a 40 by 40 rounds with 22 colors. Started on the 18th of January, finished on the 25th of February. It took me 9 hours and 46 minutes to do. Thoughts, no issues with the adhesive. The adhesive was great, but it did have unnecessary confetti for sure. So it was something that did take me a while to do because of all the confetti in this. And it was my second finish of February. My fourth, because Sacred Temple was the first one for February. My fourth finish for the year and my 51st finish of all time was this one. So now we've got next up, and don't ask me why these tiny kits are still considered finishes versus the minis that are, I don't know, like when it comes from the licensed company and it has its own like page listing and everything, then usually I count these as like a finish. My brain is weird like that. So this is a person in a small boat on a river with Mount Fuji in the background by Hokusai. So this one was super fun. This is from Diamond Artisan Shop. It's a 20 by 20 square drills, has 9 colors and one of the glitter drills, basically the equivalent of a fairy dust drill. Started on the 25th of February, finished on the 25th of February, and it took me 3 hours and 29 minutes. My thoughts on this, the color blocking in the white was, you know, kind of not as much. And I did end up adding mica powder to this to kind of fill in the gaps for all of the white backing for it. But it was one of those things that it kind of gives it like a glittery look to it, as opposed to just the gray, which there's a gray glimmer drill in there. And the 712, this creamy color is not a special, but it kind of looks almost like a, look at the residue left on my fingers. It does look like a special once you see it like this. It kind of has that look of like a glimmer drill once you add the mica. Sushi, stop. No, we're not gonna climb on things. Oh, gremlin butt. She's like, I must chaos. Stop, you do not need to go behind the easel. No, baby cat, no. Here's another sushi showing. Boop. She's like, I want to go cause chaos, Mom. Let me go. Here, what happened to the days that you would just sit in your basket and be cute? What happened to those days, little rascal? All right, and then we have another one from Diamond Artisan Shop. This is a composition, yellow, blue, black, and light blue by Mondrian. It's a master's kit. It's 20 by 20 square. Only had 5 colors, no specials. Started on the 27th of February, finished on the 1st of March, and this took me 2 hours and 57 minutes. This one was my first finish for March, my 6th finish for the year, and my 53rd finish of all time. My thoughts on this one, I started like these ones I did with like my regular work like this pattern for doing the sides. But then this one, this box right here, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do like the every other. I did like a pattern. I kind of did like a spiraling in and then filled it in. And I did not like how it turned out. It did not stick well, or it did not turn out well. You can see how much gappiness there is when I did it that way versus when I did them like boom, 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 boom. It looks pristine. This was the same exact thing, but I did it like a or like a every other, kind of like that checkerboarding style that everybody recommends. And you can see how much worse it looks. I did add some mica powder to this to make it not quite as prominent. I need to scoot that over. But I was not a fan of doing that pattern for it. So no go, not doing that pattern ever again. I'll stick with my regular style. All right, next up is Wonder Woman, Defender of Truth. This is a WB kit. There's no artist listed, it just says WB. This is from Diamond Art Club. It is a 33 by 41 square drills, has 9 colors, including 2 ABs, which is this reddish color one, and then the orange right there. So those are the 2 ABs that we see in her. And I started this on the 11th of March, finished it on the 13th of March. It took me 9 hours and 49 minutes. So thoughts on this, the drills were super, super tabby, and the pinks were very clumpy and kind of wanted to stick together. So this one was kind of tedious to do because of all of that. And this was my 2nd finish of March, 7th finish of the year, and my 54th finish of all time. I love the look of a square being finished. I just do not enjoy doing squares. So I was like on the roll for finishing small stuff. So I then pulled out this one, which is Be Your Own Hero, another Diamond Art Club WB kit of Wonder Woman. This is 33 by 33 square drills, 13 colors. And it has 2 ABs. Again, this orangey yellow here, and then this pinky orange right here. Started it on the 16th of March, finished it on the 20th of March, and it took me 7 hours and 2 minutes. This one I didn't have any issues with. It's my 3rd finish for March. It is my 8th finish for the year and my 55th finish of all time when I finished that one there. I do love the look of a finished square. It's beautiful, but I do not enjoy doing them. So that's that one. And then we have Lunar New Year Kitty, or Lunar New Year Kitty. This is by the artist Puffy Gator, and this is from Distracted by Diamonds. It is a 62 by 77 round drill canvas. It has 50 colors, and it came with 3 ABs. This is one that I started on the 13th of February, and I finished on the 30th of March. And this one took me 42 hours and 33 minutes to do. Thoughts, the adhesive was absolute crap on this. I did not have a good time with the adhesive. It was a pain in the butt to work with. The drills were also relatively poor quality. I wasn't a fan of the drills. I've had Temu or Amazon kits that felt like they had better quality drills. And I was kind of underwhelmed at the quality of this kit. And of course it was very, very confetti heavy. So that was something that it was not enjoyable for me because of the quality of the canvas and how much confetti there was. What I did enjoy doing was adding all the specials to it that I added. So I added all the things to this. So I did this one for my Lunar New Year DP 2024. And you can see these are all the specials that I added. So I added specials in the lanterns. I added specials to the vest, to the flowers, and then also to the background, and then a little bit of everywhere. So I added all the specials on this kit. It was very much added specials everywhere. And I love how the specials turned out, and that's like the thing that makes me happy on this, because I used a little bit of everything as I did this kit. A little of everything went into it, and I love how it turned out in that glimmer that you can see in the lanterns, the vest, the flowers, down into the bottom, all of that. So that was a pleasant part of it, but the actual doing the kit was not enjoyable. This is my 4th finish of March, my 9th finish of the year, and my 56th finish of all time was Lunar New Year Kitty. So that was that one. It was an experience, we'll say that. All right. Next up, we have Rainbow Cloud by the artist Star Winksy. And this is from Munimade. It is a 30 by 30 square. It has 31 colors and 1 AB for this one here. Started it on the 31st of March, finished it on the 31st of March. Took me 7 hours and 6 minutes. So I did it all in one day. Thoughts? There was some minor gapping in some of those areas that I was seeing in the stars, but this is one of like her very early editions. She's since changed manufacturers since doing this kit. It was quick and fun to do. It did have some unnecessary confetti around like the edges of the color changes right in there. And the borders of colors were very much unnecessary confetti. I thought it could have easily been cleaned up to be like, okay, all of like one color like these ones. Because you can see as I pull up, you can see how it looks right in there, how there's so many different color changes right through there. Same thing around the star. There's all of these different color changes. When you look at it from a distance, your eye kind of pulls it all together. But when you look at it close up, you're like, why do I have blue, pink, green, gray, brown outlining this brown? Those are all colors I just looked at. Yellow as well. So that was something that I not so happy about, the confetti on this one. This one was my 5th finish of March, my 10th finish of the year, and my 57th finish of all time was that one. And then we have an adorable little kit right here. This is Fantastic Friends by the artist Pixie Sticks. It's a 20 by 3 by 23. It's from Diamond Art Club. It is round drills. This one has 23 colors, and it came with 3 ABs. So this one here, I started on the 6th of April, finished on the 6th of April. It took me 3 hours and 47 minutes to do. And my thoughts on this one, absolutely adorable. Loved it. It was a blast. It's my 1st finish of April. Look how cute she is. She's so cute. I love these little mini kits from Pixie Sticks. I need Kate to have more releases. My 11th finish of the year and my 58th finish of all time was that one. She was so fun. And then we have Winston's Prize by the artist Cute But Weird. And this is from Munimade. And I love the colors of this. That color palette is just dreamy and I love it. It's a 40 by 40 round drills, 29 colors and 2 ABs. I started at the 6th of April, finished at the 9th of April. Took me 11 hours and 20 minutes. My thoughts, the sky was a little tricky to do up into the sky area. and it had, because it had three similar symbols with very similar shading up into the sky area. It was like a 2, an M, and an H. So that was a little tricky, especially when you look at how much of like the checkerboarding we had to do in here, which you don't see from a distance, but when we come close up, you can see those color changes and how we had to do a lot of checkerboarding to kind of finish all of that. And that was something, I am not a fan of checkerboarding. It's so tedious for me. So that part was with similar symbols up in the top, and the checkerboarding was kind of ugh. But I did enjoy this. I loved the color palette. I thought it was an adorable image. This is my 2nd finish of April, my 12th finish of the year, and my 59th finish of all time. All right, I'm back. I had to take a quick little break, do a painting class. So finished with the Cupid weird painting. Winston's prize. All right, so next up, we have this beautiful stunner. This is Familiar Magic by Chrisabug. It was I think this is actually the first, I'd have to look back through. I think this might be the actual first Chrisabug that I've finished, but it is stunning. I love the sparkle on Diamond Art Club's drills. Like, look how sparkly, absolutely sparkly all of these drills are. They're just giving me all the sparkle vibes. So this right here, this stunner, is a 55.8 by 70.6 round drill canvas. It has 64 colors, which includes 2 ABs and 2 fairy dust. And I started it on the 5th of April and finished it on the 25th of April. And this one took me 28 hours and 33 minutes to do. And like my notes that I wrote here, my thoughts, I wrote no issues with the adhesive finally, because like I had a run of like 6 or 7 Diamond Art Clubs in a row that had like subpar adhesive. So it was nice to have one that had good adhesive. And I did actually add a couple, I added a little bit drill wise to this. So I turned this into a fairy dust right here. I used some pixie dust drills from DP with Sparklers for the body of the cat. So here and up into the face, and I ran out in this tiny little corner. I do have more of this drill now, so I could go back and swap out that little weird dark spot there, but I just haven't been motivated to actually do that. So I did do that, and I ended up swapping, because this was supposed to be 211, and I ended up having to use 210 for that right there. But that is finish number, as I turned to my page already, that is April's 3rd finish for April, my 13th finish of the year, my 60th finish of all time, and I loved it. It was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right. I should have mentioned, spoiler in case anybody was not aware, but this was the Crafter's Den Spring Mystery by the artist Cherryuki, and it is super adorable. This is from Jaded Gem Shop. It is a 40 by 45 square drill canvas. This was my first actual mystery kit that I've ever worked on, and I divided this up. It like killed me to do it, but I divided it up into like little squares this big, and then did like section by section because it was a mystery kit with all of the black and white grid. This has 30 colors, which includes 2 glimmer. I started it on the 30th of April and finished it on the 4th of May, and I just like flew through this. My thoughts: absolutely glorious, gorgeous. The squares were gorgeous to work on, easy symbols. It was my first mystery, and I had to do small sections. I actually divided this tiny kit up into 16 sections, which was killer for me. But I cruised through them pretty quickly. I just had to have small areas for my eyes to look, because otherwise it threw my eyes off with all of that black and white. This is my first finish for May, my 14th finish for the year, and my 61st finish of all time. And this is super, super cute. I love it. All right, next up, we have Jody's Mermaid. This is by the artist Sybil Art. And Sybil is one of my absolute favorite artists. I actually have one of her original paintings hanging on my wall. But I absolutely love Sybil. So I was like, okay, I picked up a bunch of Sybils from Crafties. And then I picked up a handful of Sybils from, like 2 of them, I believe, from DIY Moonshop. So this is a DIY Moonshop kit. It is a 30 by 45 round drill canvas, 36 colors and 1 AB. I started this on the 7th of May and I finished it on the 15th of May, and it took me 9 hours and 20 minutes. So my thoughts: the adhesive on this was absolutely horrendous. Horrible adhesive. That just drove me crazy working on it. The drills were meh, and the rendering was also really subpar because of course this is tiny. That's pure confetti in here. I had to add glue to this multiple times, and the canvas is also really like flimsy and wrinkly. Like you can see there's so many like random wrinkles in this canvas, but it's a super, super flimsy canvas. Like, I would have preferred to have worked on one of my Amazon kits that I had early on rather than this one, just because of how annoying the canvas and the glue and everything else was. I literally had to tape the canvas to my light pad in order for it to stay in place while I was placing drills. Otherwise, the pull of the putty on the drills was so much that it would like lift the canvas off. That's how flimsy this canvas was. So this was my second finish for May, my 15th finish of the year, and my 62nd finish of all time. And that was Jody's Mermaid. The render, as you can see, was pretty subpar. And then we have Tiny Dobby. This is one of the WB Diamond Art Club canvases of the Harry Potter series. And I'm trying to finish all of them. I think I have 2 left to do. This is a 32.8 by 32.8 round drill canvas, 7 colors, which included 2 ABs, our little 310 over here, and then this orange over there. This one I started on the 15th of May, finished on the 15th of May, and it only took me 4 hours and 32 minutes. I love those quick finishes like this. That's wonderful. My thoughts, it was a color blocking heaven. If you don't like color blocking, don't buy these kits. It was pure color blocking, and I love that. That's my happy place, is to sit there and color block, especially in rounds. It was my 3rd finish for the month of May, my 16th finish for the year, and my 63rd finish of all time. And then after Tiny Dobby, we have Tiny Harry. So Tiny Harry is also from Diamond Art Club, WB painting, 32.8 by 32.8 round drill canvas. This one actually had 20 colors, so significantly more. So 20 colors, which included 2 ABs and 1 fairy dust. I started this one on the 17th of May, finished it on the 18th of May, and it took me 4 hours and 8 minutes. And my thoughts that I wrote for this, absolutely adorable. So our ABs, we have this nice AB right there, and then we have another AB right in the center right here. I'm still trying to figure out what this is supposed to be. It doesn't make sense to me. A little AB right back in there, a little AB there, and then our fairy dust drill is, let's see, where is that drill? That's the tricky part when you're like, oh, I don't know. It's because everything is sparkling so much. I'm like, wait, which one is which? Oh, okay, 780. So it's going to be one of those orangey colors. I think it's it's the brown in the wand. That's the last one. So this was my 4th finish for the month of May, 17th finish for the year, 64th finish of all time. And then we come into what is probably one of my absolute favorite finishes that I've done. This is the kit, Princess Mononoke. I really need to swap out that drill. It's annoying me because now it looks like she's got like a little spot on her face. This is Princess Mononoke by JoJo's Art. It is a Diamond Art Club 32 by 44 square drill canvas. 38 colors, no specials in this. It was one of their older kits. I did buy it in 2023, but it was one that's basically one of their older ones that was charted without specials. I started it on the 31st of May and finished it on the 1st of June, and it took me 11 hours and 45 minutes. And I actually worked on this during the Crafters Paradise retreat. So this is one that I brought with me to work on there, and it is stunning. Look at that. I love it. So my thoughts, it was simple, it was quick. I love it. Like, this is Princess Mononoke is one of my favorite movies. I love it. So being able to have like this Ghibli art right here and have it detailed so well, this to me is also proof that you don't have to have a massive canvas to have the detail that you need in the face. Because this is literally like basically a 32 by 44. It's small, but yet look how clear and perfect her face is. And then coming over here, the wolf's eyes, like you don't need a massive canvas to have the detail that you need when you have an image like this. First finish of the month of June, 18th finish of the year, 65th finish of all time. And now we are on to this one that, like, it's silly how little of the canvas we see right now. This is Super Dragon from Enabler's Outpost. The artist is Tori Nagay Art. This is a 50 by 110, which is like the largest kit that I had worked on was this one right here. Well, actually, like lengthwise largest because of the Flower Delivery and Sacred Temple were the Flower Delivery version 2 and Secret Temple were both kind of like right around that 100 or so. So this one is 110, so it's massive. It's a square drill canvas, 44 colors and with only 2 ABs. This one was one of the first kits that, and then it also has like 2 glow drills. So my thoughts, so I started it on the 5th of February and I finished it on the 5th of June. So it did take me a while, but it only took me 58 hours and 37 minutes. So not horrible. My thoughts on this, the squares were super easy to work with. I did have a couple colors that were kind of clumpy with the drills would clump together. And there was some minor gapping in the 939. It's not something that you really notice when you look at it. Like this, you can't even see the gapping because it's a dark color. And this is also one of Enabler's Outpost's older style, older manufacturer, or older style. So they have since made a lot of improvements and changes, and they have now, if you buy this kit now, you're going to have a completely different experience because it is a like it's going to be a hand rendered like hybrid. This one's all like computer charted, so I have a lot of like confetti all through here, which was kind of tedious working on all that confetti, but look at how beautiful this is. I love how it turned out. I think it was phenomenal, and I was super happy to do it. I started this one during the Lunar New Year DP along, but I came nowhere near close to finishing it. So I actually ended up finishing the majority of it later on, but it's a stunner. It is beautiful. I love it. And it just, so much fun. This is my second finish for the month of June, 19th finish of the year, and 66th finish of all time. So that's that one, Super Dragon. So cool. And then we have, I'm like laying these all on my floor. In case you wonder what I'm doing, I'm laying them down on the floor beside me. So this right here is Fierce Fu. I'm actually the artist for this. This was an image that I took in China, in Beijing, and of a Fu dog in front of a temple. This is the canvas, and I got it done as a custom from Jaded Gem Shop. It is a 45 by 60 rounds, has 45 colors, no specials. This image, I was like, I don't really need specials for it, so I did it with no specials. I started this one on the 1st of June and finished it on the 9th of June, and I flew through this. It took me 22 hours and 42 minutes. So my thoughts on this, it was my first custom. It was an absolute dream. The render came out phenomenal. I'm super, super pleased with this render. It was kind of a good mix where you had a lot of like confetti. So when you look at it, like this top part here, pure confetti, and then this middle section right here, pure confetti. Also a ton of confetti in like the shading of our Fu, and then you've got coming down lower, all of this. But for this one, the confetti was actually very much needed to give it the look that you see here and make it as stunning as it is. I would not change anything about this kit, even though it was very much confetti heavy for a lot of the aspects of it. It worked perfectly for this. I did have to turn off the light pad for like 2 of the symbols, which I found hard to distinguish between each other with the light pad on, but once I turned the light pad off, I had absolutely no problem and I could see just fine, which is kind of, that's something that I've noticed as a trend with, there's like a couple symbols that Jade does, at least early on. The ones that I've worked on recently from her, I haven't had to do that same thing with, so it seems to be something that was like the older kits, and she may have switched up some symbols and things like that to do. But this is, I think this is realistically my absolute favorite diamond painting of all time, and I actually want to get it, like put it on a, like stretch it and actually have it displayed. But I think I'm going to seal it because I don't want to lose any of the drills. And with how often, if I wasn't moving, it wouldn't be a big deal, but since I move all the time, not moving anytime soon, don't worry. But since I move all the time, I don't want to run the risk of losing drills on this, so I will probably seal it and then do the stretch it and put it basically on the wood stretcher bars for this one here. This is my 3rd finish for the month of June, 20th finish for the year, and my 67th finish of all time, and all absolute favorite of all time to date. I absolutely love how it turned out. So that is Fierce Fu. Next, we have Composition with Blue, Red, Yellow, and Black by the artist Mondrian. And this comes to us from Diamond Artisan Shop, just like the previous one did. This one is a 20 by 20 square, 5 colors, no specials. I started it on the 14th of June, finished it on the 14th of June, and it only took me an hour and 59 minutes because it's literally pure color blocking. My thoughts, there were some gaps in the white, and I need to fill those in with the mica powder, but I have not got around to doing that because it doesn't bother me that much. So because it's such a massive strip of white right here, it does need a little bit of the mica to kind of fill in those edges. But I'm pleased with how it turned out otherwise. I think it is super cute. It's a nice little palette cleanser for this one here. This was my 4th finish for the month of June, my 21st finish for the year, and my 68th finish of all time. And that is that cute little snacky. Next up, this may be a repeat for people that watched my month in review, or my year in review for 2023. This is My Sword by the artist Indie Creates, and this is from Enabler's Outpost. So this is one that Elizabeth actually sent me to kind of do a comparison between this, which was the newer render style, and the previous one that I completed of this image, which was the older render style. And I have to say, this was by far an absolute dream to work on. I loved everything about it. I definitely noticed an improvement because it's like a little bit of a different, I think they have a slightly different supplier. I'm not sure, but I know that they did do like the rendering and all of that stuff, and things were completely different than what it was previously. This kit was wonderful. It's a 65 by 50 round drills, 39 colors, which included 5 glimmer. I started this one on the 14th of June, finished it on the 20th of June, and it took me 22 hours and 57 minutes. And my thoughts, there was a normal amount of trash, no big deal. No issues with it. The adhesive was perfectly fine. There was a lot of color blocking sections, like little areas. There would be a color blocky section, which I love that. And then of course you have some areas with a lot of the color changes. And I wrote amazing render, quality, everything. This was a blast. I loved it. And hands down, significantly blew the first one, the version 1, out of the water. Like, this was hands down a night and day difference. And it is stunning. And I love how her face is in this one. It is so good. And what's so cool is seeing how these glimmer drills right in here, just in the different shades of yellow, from a distance, it looks like you're actually seeing like gold, like the hilt of the sword and everything in gold. So that was kind of cool to do. But I love the detailing and like the lines and the detail on her gloves. It's stunning. Like, you can actually see and make out all that detail, which you could not in the first one. The first one was very much confetti and was not nearly the same experience. This was my 5th finish for June, 22nd finish for the year, and my 69th finish of all time. Loved her. She was a dream. All right, I think I'm on to trying to, like, filming session number 3. I had to stop and do a Zoom call. Anyways, now we have a supervisor right here, like, slashing her sassy little tail. But did I go over this one? I did not go over this one. I just finished that one. All right, so next up we have Tiny Dumbledore. This is another Diamond Art Club kit. It is artist, no real artist. The WB is listed on it. WBI is what it says. This is a 32.8 by 32.8 round drills, 14 colors and 2 ABs. This beautiful purple here, and then the white of the stars. Those are our 2 ABs. I started this one on the 25th of June, finished it on the 26th of June, and it took me 5 hours and 24 minutes. And my thoughts, I literally just wrote no issues. That was all I put on this one. Super cute. I love how this one turned out. I was very pleased with this little cutie there. So started this on June. This is finish number 6 for June, 23rd for the year, and my total finish is number 70. So that's what I had for that one. And then next up, right along with it, hey Moch, get off, move. She's like, but I want to stretch on the canvases. So this is Tiny Hermione. This is also 32.8 by 32.8 Diamond Art Club rounds, 8 colors, 1 AB, 1 fairy dust. So the AB is this one right here. And I think that fairy dust was supposed to be the background colors. Yes, so the fairy dust was supposed to be these, but I ended up swapping them out and using Cosmic Effects 6mm Milky Way quads, these round drills that you see scattered about, to give it a little bit more like texture and look, which if I turn on the light, then we will get a better idea of it. I just have to turn on that light so we can see. So now you can see how sometimes you've kind of got that like cosmic-y blue, purple, depending on how you look at the drills, they change their color for these big squares right here. I love those ones right there. So those are the drills that I added for this canvas. I started it on the 25th of June, finished it on the 26th of June, and it took me 5 hours, or wait, no, that was, my page flipped. I started on the 26th of June, finished it on the 26th of June, and it took me 4 hours and 58 minutes, and I just said adorable for this, but I did add out that special there. This is my 7th finish for June, 24th finish for the year, and my 71st finish of all time for that one there. Next up is, oh, you're funny. She's just scrabbled across my paintings. So this one is probably one of my favorites as well that I've worked on. This is one that I ended up buying off of a D-stash because I could not live without this canvas and I really wanted it. So this is Lamicorn by Sheena Pike. It is a Diamond Art Club 41 by 41 squares, 35 colors, which includes 2 ABs. So the ABs that we have is this like pale pink AB that you see right there. And then our other AB is going to be this green right here at the top. So very much not a lot of specials in it, but I just loved this. And this is like, I wish Diamond Art Club still had this grid like this, because to me this was an absolute perfect grid. It was not too tight. Some of the newer canvases, the grid for the squares is so tight that I can't place the drills properly. They keep wanting to pop off. This was a perfect grid. I mean, look at the background. The background is literally 5200, and look at how beautiful that background looks, and there's really not gapping in that background. I started this one on the 26th of June, finished it on the 28th of June, and it took me 9 hours and 57 minutes to do this one here. My thoughts on this, perfect squares, love the grid. It's not gappy, but it's not so tight that you are like killing your wrist trying to force the drills in place. At least that's what happens with me. That's what happens when you have like wrist issues apparently. But I loved this. I thought it was fantastic, and the picture just makes me so happy. I don't know if anyone has ever heard the song "Here's a Llama, There's a Llama, and Another Little Llama." That song from like way back when. Oh my goodness, it's the Llama Llama Duck. It's a fantastic song, and every time I see this, it makes me think of that. But anyways, this is my 8th finish for June, my 25th finish for the year, and my 72nd finish of all time. And now we're going to roll into the next one. So this is Cloud Kitty by the artist. It's Angeline Arts. This is from Swartz Designs by Abigail Marie. It is a 60 by 60 round drill canvas with 42 colors. It came with 4 ABs, and then this was one of her advent boxes that she does, that she was doing before she kind of like shut down her shop. But this is one that, so it came with 4 ABs, but then she also added 6 additional ABs and 1 metallic to this. So we have lots of ABs kind of in this area. Here is AB, so some pink, some purple, some orange, some red kind of up in there. And then the bow is all of a metallic. And then down into, or up into the top, you can see we've got the purple AB scattered throughout right up in here. That's the purple AB glistening. And then in the bottom, we have like all the orange AB that you could possibly imagine in the bottom. I mean, look at that. Super, super awesome. So this one, some areas had color blocking to it, but then the majority of the background in particular was basically checkerboarding, and you guys know how I feel about checkerboarding. I loathe checkerboarding. So even though I loved the oranges and like the pinks and the color palette of this one was super fun. I loved the color palette. I loved having all those specials, but I actually really did not enjoy working on this canvas, especially the background, because of the checkerboarding. Like, it's most evident if you look between like color changes. You can see how high up that combination of checkerboarding is, because we go from this orange into a red into like the pinks. There's like 3 colors right here in that tiny little area, and it's all checkerboarding confetti, and that is like the definition of hell for me. I highly dislike this style of working. Very unpleasant. The only thing that made it more tolerable was the fact that this was a round. If this had been a square, it would have been a like whole different story. But I love how it turned out. It looks super cute. I love the gold in the bow right there. I think that looks fantastic. We've got a bunch of ABs in the arrow. I just did not enjoy doing this one. So this was my first finish for July, my 26th finish for the year, and my 73rd finish of all time. So that was that one there. And now we're getting into some additional, so this one right here, this is Ohana by Leah Barazzi. This is from Bella Art Diamonds. This was back from like one of their original ones before they had rebranded, so it still says Mary's Diamonds up there. But then you can see we've got the Bella Art Nicole at the bottom. So this is from Bella Art Diamonds. This is a 40 by 50 round drill kit with 3 ABs. I started this one on the 28th of June and finished it on the 4th of July, and it took me 13 hours and 12 minutes. So my thoughts on this, absolutely no issues. This was an absolute pleasure to do. And it was perfect because it had some color blocking, but also a little bit of that confetti mix. So it's like perfect for somebody that like wants a little bit of both. That was what this was absolutely perfect for. I love how it turned out. It looks fantastic. And like the way they rendered the background, it's like, you have a lot of back and forth placement, as you can see with those colors there, but it was not to the degree of the previous one. And the image is just so adorable. I mean, I love sea turtles, and you can see this adorable sea turtle right here. So this is this one here, which was my 2nd finish for July, 27th finish for the year, and 74th finish of all time. But I loved it. It turned out fantastic. Next up, and I also, this was one of them that I was working on, as well as, there was a couple other ones, like the tiny, let's see, the tiny Dumbledore, the tiny Hermione, Lamicorn, and that one. I started them all, or worked on them all during the Great Lakes Escape Retreat. This one I also started at the Great Lakes Escape Retreat. This is one that I got at the retreat for free. Basically, we all got a Crystal Canvas Art Designs canvas, which is pure crystals, nothing but crystals in this kit right here. I got a different image, and then I swapped with somebody to get the little phoenix because I thought this phoenix was super cute. This is a 30 by 30 round drills, 36 colors, and they are all 36 are crystals. So this was a lot of confetti. I started this one on the 29th of June, finished it on the 5th of July. And my thoughts, so again, I wrote down, it took me 6 hours and 51 minutes. My thoughts: Great Lakes Escape Retreat, tricky crystal background to do this, because it was like, to get the placement just right, and then lighting with the background being all crystals. My thoughts on this: I'm not a fan of a full crystal canvas. So I did it. I was like, okay, I had fun doing it, but I was like, okay, then they're done that, check in the box. I do not need to do another full crystal canvas. I would have liked, I think the crystals of the background kind of wash it out a little bit. I would have rather have had like a white or a beigey tone to kind of make everything else stand out a little bit more as far as the background is concerned. But that is this full crystal canvas. As you can see, your eyes just kind of like fall into it, into the depth of it, because crystals kind of give you more of a shadowed look. But the image was super cute, and I was like, okay, that's an experience. I've done it. I don't need to do it again. That was my 3rd finish for July, my 28th finish for the year, and my 75th finish of all time. Next up is this beauty. This is the Crafter's Den. Let me get to the right page on here. This is the Crafter's Den Summer Mystery number 2. So this was the second mystery kit that Jade and Sophie came up with. This artist is Lily's Wonders. So Lily, let's see, Kovalik is what I wrote. This is from Jade at Gem Shop. It is a 40 by 50 square drill canvas, and it had 56 colors. So this was another one that I did in the squares. Just like the previous one, I ordered in squares. I started it on the 6th of July, finished it on the 16th of July, and it has 4 of the glimmer or drills in here, which is equivalent of a fairy dust. It took me 18 hours and 20 minutes to do this. I also had to break this down into quadrants, and I did it, I think, into like 16 or 20. I think this one may have been a little bit more, I don't know. It was tricksy to distinguish a couple of the symbols. They had like a similar feel to them, but I was able to kind of say, okay, hey, that looks good color-wise compared to this, so I think I did it right. I'm not sure. I love the finish. I think it is fantastic. This was one of her earliest pixel or hand-charted kits that she had come out with, was this one here, and I loved working on it as a pixel hand-charted kit. I thought that was fantastic. I love like her hair, like the browns of her hair blend really well with all of the sea stuff right on it and all those little mini vignettes. I love this little turtle. He is adorable. And I love the fact that he's got these little like glimmer drills on the back, his back, right in the eye, that blue. We also have like this beautiful background here is glimmer, and then same thing coming up right, that blue right there. You have some of it right in there. And then we have this lighter brown right here is also a glimmer. So those light brown highlights of her hair are glimmer drills too. So this was something that I really enjoyed, this kit. It was a blast, and it turned out gorgeous. It is beautiful. Love it. So this one was my 4th finish for July, my 29th finish for the year, and my 76th finish of all time. And then I actually, like, the next ones that you'll see, I actually went to visited my brother in July. I went up and spent a week with him, and we kind of chilled, and I did diamond painting while he played games on the computer, and then we went out and did hiking and everything because he's up in Washington. So I had a blast doing that, but I brought a bunch of kits with me to work on because I knew I was going to be at his place. So this one is actually from the Crafters Paradise Retreat 2024, hence it says Crafters Paradise 2024. This is a canvas from Rose Prophet Creations. It's my only time. She created the logo for the event kit, and this was my first time working on a Rose Prophet image or canvas or anything like that. This is a 40 by 40 round drills, has 50 colors, and has 4 ABs included, but I went ahead and did the enhancement pack from DP with Sparklers for this, so it's got a lot more bling than that in it. So I started this one on the 13th of July, finished it on the 19th of July, and it took me 11 hours and 22 minutes. So my thoughts on this, it was, like I said, it was the Crafter's Paradise 2024 retreat canvas, and then I did the DP with Sparklers enhancement set. I did find, because it was computer charted, there was a lot of that unnecessary confetti, so that was something that I did not like, the unnecessary confetti. I tried to like take some of it out as I was working with the enhancements, but didn't always work. And then I also recharted the words to be all of one color, because they were basically, the words were pure confetti, multiple colors. So I just used the most prominent color in Crafters to do that one. I just pulled like a darker color for Paradise, and then I did the 2024 in the crystals. So this one has a lot of specials. We have a ton of crystals in the bottom, and then the crystals come up, these blue crystals in the bottom, which are beautiful, come up and blend into a dark blue AB right here. So we've got that dark blue right in that area, and then it fades up into this lighter blue AB right through here that you see up towards that top. And then we have a white AB up in there. And then in the hair, we've got like these jelly looking ones. So these, I can't remember what they're called, but we've got a lot of the jellies. So these green ones, these pink ones, these hot pink ones, and then like the crystals of this darker pink right there. Let me turn on the light, because I feel like that's the only way to really truly appreciate all of these special drills in here. That really is. So this one, like I said, had a lot of unnecessary confetti, but look at those drills and all of the crystals and the jelly type crystal ABs and everything that we have in the tail. And then of course our crystals and our ABs and all of that down below. I loved having the enhancement set. I love blinging out canvases. And for me, the only thing that takes time is the setup and the preparation for working on one of these canvases. Because once I have it kitted up, it goes just the same amount of speed as a regular canvas, even though I have all the specials. Because then I've got it, I know exactly what's going where, and I don't have to think about it. I just, use the special drills that I have laid out in my kit. In my like kitted up area. This one did have a lot of like that checkerboarding as well. You can see right through there. So it wasn't as much as the Cloud Kitty. And this was spread out enough and it was a smaller piece, so it wasn't as prominent because we did have more areas. But again, it was a lot of like that checkerboardy that is kind of typical of a computer rendered kit. So this was my 5th finish for July, my 30th finish for the year, and my 77th finish of all time. Next up is another one that came in one of the Enablers Outpost mystery boxes. This is tulips, and I think Elizabeth did this artwork. I thought it was super adorable. This one I also worked on at my brother's house. This was a 10 by 38 round, or I think it was, or maybe, no, I think that's more than 10 centimeters. I don't know. I forget. Yeah, that should be about 10. So this is like, now I'm curious and I want to measure because my brain is not mathing it right. No, that's more. Okay, so it is a 20 by 38. I need to change that in my, I need to change that in my logbook. Let me grab a pen. Where did my pens go? There it is. Because that's going to bother me, so I need to change this in my gems flow as well, because that is definitely 20. I was like, that's not 10 centimeters. That's more than 10 centimeters. As you guys can see, it is most definitely 20 centimeters. But anyways, so this one was 16 colors, round drills. There was no specials in this. I added the specials that you see, and I'll go over that. I started it on the 19th of July, finished it on the 20th of July. It took me 4 hours and 22 minutes. And my thoughts on this, super cute. It was April's mystery box, and I did add a bunch of specials to it from stuff that I had brought to work on. I had brought a couple things, and I also used extra specials from the previous kit that I did. I used those for this. So I added basically a couple crystals. I added 2 crystals and then 2 ABs into the flowers themselves. So you'll see there is a crystal for on the stem. So we have a green crystal kind of in highlighting aspects of the stem, or adding like a little shadow, a little extra look on the petals or on the leaves in the stem. And then in the leaves, we've got this beautiful pink crystal right there. And then I have a pink AB right there. And then I also have so I have the pink AB there, and yeah, 2 shades. It was like a pink, and then I think, oh no, it was a fairy dust. That was a couple of fairy dust drills as well. I was trying to remember what all I added in, so I don't think I remarked everything that I added, because there is most definitely a pink fairy dust. So a pink AB and then a pink fairy dust or pixie spark dust or whatever you want to call it as well. So that I added those specials to it. And then as you can see, I did a little bit of a border. So I used a white AB, a 5200 AB, and then I alternated a white AB, the pink jelly glow thing, or the pink jelly drill, and then a red, white, pink, white, red, white, pink, white, red. And I kind of did that alternating back and forth to add this little border, which I thought was super cute for this, and I loved how it looked. So that was something that I was like, okay, I like how that turned out. And that was my first time adding a border to a canvas, but I thought that was good to break up the white that you're seeing here. And it turned out beautifully. I really am pleased with that. This was my 6th finish for July, my 31st finish for the year. Yes, 31st finish for the year, and my 78th finish of all time. And it was a pleasant one. I enjoyed it. After that, I also started this one. I can't remember if I finished this one at my brother's house or not, or if I just started it there, because I spent like a solid week at his place. So this was the Great Lakes Escape Retreat 2024 event, or like retreat canvas, and it was done by DP with Sparklers. They're the ones that did the canvas and all of that, and then they added, there was a bling pack to go with it. So it is a 50 by 50 round drill canvas, and it had 32 colors, and it was a mixed drill chart. So it was charted with, let's see, it was charted with crystal, AB, 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 crystal, AB, and then like a glitter, and like the hematite, which is like this dark crystal type metallic into it. I started this on the 20th of July and I finished it on the 28th of July. So I think I finished this one at home. My thoughts, so many specials plus the bling pack on top of that. And it was a fantastic quality. I really enjoyed that one quality wise. So we have ABs for Michigan and the Great Lakes. That is all ABs here and here. And then the green of Great Lakes right there is a crystal. We have an AB for this whole perimeter of this color blue is an AB. And then we have like all sorts, we have like pearls right in here, accenting more glitter. That's our glitter drill there. Then the hematite there, a lot of like accents throughout all of this with all the drills that you see. And I thought it was a pleasant one to work on, and it turned out adorably. It's super cute, as you can see. And I love the sparkle of these loaded special drill kits. This was my 7th finish for July, my 32nd finish for the year, and my 79th finish of all time. Next, we have this adorable kit, which I loved. This is Moon Love by the artist Sebi, and I have a lot of work from Sebi because their artwork is fantastic. This comes to us from Diamond Artisan Shop. It is a 50 by 50 round drill canvas. And so it's like, this is also very like beat up looking because it is rounds. So the adhesive is still on that perimeter, and I hate having exposed adhesive. It has it's square drills, 24 colors. It came with 2 ABs, 2 pixie dust or glimmer drills, and then 1 rhinestone / crystal. So I started this on the 3rd of August, finished it on the 10th of August. It took me 13 hours and 50 minutes to do. My thoughts on this, the grid, like right in here for the cat, for this area, because it's a Sailor Moon image. So the grid was, for these glimmer drills, was very tight, and I should have worked from the inside out, but I basically did the outside, and then I did the black outlining, and then I kind of like came in and did the white in here. So that was like the last thing I did in the cat, was right here. So like for Luna, that was like the last thing I did was, yeah, this area here. So it was one of those things where I really should have worked a little bit, like done this and then worked my way out. That would have worked better because I kind of left myself no space. So it was a struggle to get all these drills in, and then they didn't want to stick very well. So it's like anytime this isn't completely flat, a couple of these drills kind of want to pop up, but it's settled over time. It's done much better over time since it's been sitting since I finished it. And it looks fantastic. And I like the fact that there's the full crystal background. I thought that was very like cool decision, instead of making it just a solid white background, to do crystals. So this was my first finish for August, my 33rd finish for the year, and my 80th finish of all time. And she is super cute. And I worked on her for the Sailor Moon, Sailor Summer event. Also for the Sailor Summer event, I worked on this kit right here. which you can see, this is Challenge Me by the artist Ahireen. Ahireen, I don't know how to pronounce it. And this is from Jaded Gem Shop. It is a 30 by 30 square drills, 17 colors, no specials. It's one of Jade's first handful of pixel charted kits that she had done, which is why the legend looks a little different here than what you typically would see. So I started this one on the 10th of August, finished it on the 12th of August, and it took me 6 hours and 31 minutes. I also did a lot of bling to this. So I loved the pixel charted kits. That's like my new favorite thing from Jade is pixel charted. I added bling to her earrings, also to her headpiece right up in here, and then for her necklace right here. So added bling in those areas. So all of those accents that you can see. This one was super cute. I love, love, love how she turned out. And I'm really pleased with how the specials worked out in here to add just that little bit of an accent. So you can see the glimmer in her earrings. And then we have, so those are crystals in the earrings. And then we have, it's like crystals with a little bit of a metallic in the center. We have an AB right here, AB there, and then 3 different colors of AB right up here. And then we have the glimmer drills and then crystals for her necklace. So the red is a glimmer. And I'm very pleased with how it turned out. This was my second finish for August and for the Sailor Summer event, my 34th finish for the year, and my 81st finish of all time. We're almost at the end. We're getting close to the end of my book, of my first vlog book. Before we roll into the second. Moji, you gotta get off the canvases so I can put this where you're laying. Move, carcass. Thank you, little carc. All right. Next up, we have Pop Flow, and this comes to us from Oraloa Studios. This is an Oraloa the artist for it is listed as Oraloa Studios. And this is from Oraloa, obviously. It's a round drill canvas, 16 colors, which includes 2 ABs, this beautiful orange that we're seeing, and then this red. Those are the 2 ABs that we have in this kit. I started it on the 15th of August and finished it on the 17th of August, and it took me 3 hours and 30 minutes. My thoughts, I loved the retro colors to this. I thought it was super fun. It did have really large guide circles on this canvas, so that was something that was very tedious. It had such like the huge guide circles, so you had to place well with your lighter colors, otherwise the guide circles were really obvious. But it turned out fantastic. It was adorable. This is my 3rd finish for August, my 35th finish of the year, and my 82nd finish of all time. And then next up, Mochi, she went right back to the same exact spot. Move, Momo, thank you. She's like, Mom, I'm going to lay on these canvases and give myself a bath while laying on the canvases. Don't make me move. She's silly. So now we have this adorable one right here. This was actually one of my rainy day kits, and this gave me all the pleasure imaginable. And I actually worked on this during my birthday week. So this is Le Petite Miss Ocean from Laura Philippon, and this is from Oraloa. It is a 50 by 70 round drills. It comes with 55 colors and 5 ABs in this one here. I started this one on the 20th of August and finished it on the 27th of August, and it took me 23 hours and 52 minutes. And this one was a dream to work on. I loved the color palette. It was absolutely so fun, pleasurable to do. I was still living out in the desert at that time, out in 29 Palms, out in the desert, and I was just like dying for the ocean and, you know, missing home in Hawaii and all of that. So this was a kit that like really kind of like I needed that pick-me-up of like these lovely colors, and then also the island feel for it, because it very much reminded me of Hawaii and hula dancers. So that was something that I needed this kit, and it really helped working on this kit. So that was something that, you know, was pleasant to do. I thought the colors were absolutely heavenly. This was definitely one of my rainy day kits, and I needed that moment and that pick-me-up of it. And I love, one of my favorite parts of this entire kit, like I love everything about it, but I love the Monstera up here. These Monstera leaves are just so dreamy, and I love them. So I needed the blues and greens that were in here. The guide circles on this one were completely different than the guide circles on the Pop Flow, the previous Oraloa that I just showed. Like these were perfect. They were subtle enough to help you with your alignment, but they weren't like something that was obnoxious. And you can see I'm not a perfect placer by any means, and you don't see the guide circles really much of anywhere, except for if I get really, really off in my placement. So this was my 4th finish for August, my 36th finish for the year, and my 83rd finish of all time. And she was one of my top finishes. I really, really love how this one turned out. Next up, we have this cutie pie. This is Pumpkin Kitty by the artist Irma Van Humen, which I love her work. And this comes to us from Enabler's Outpost. It is a 40 by 40 square drill canvas with 34 colors and 5 of the fairy sparkle, glimmer, whatever you want to call them, the dust drills. So this one I started on the 17th of August and I finished it on the 31st of August. And it's a really small kit, but it did take me 17 hours and 44 minutes to do. So my thoughts on this one, it was a lot of confetti for this one here. This was prior to them switching to a new canvases, new grid, new drills, and like, because now you get all of your squares are going to be in resin. I think these are still the acrylic squares. This is a much older kit from them. And I also had a lot of popping drills in this, so it's also not hand charted like their newer stuff has that like hand charting in there. This does not have any of that. So I had a lot of popping drills. I was working on this. They just didn't want to stay down. So I did have to seal it. And it's one of those things where you can rub your hand across it and you can feel how, as it was drying, the drills kind of like popped their way back up again. So it's a very uneven feel to it when you push. It doesn't feel like you would running your hand across a square drill canvas, but I did have to seal this. And it was worse when I worked from the outside in. So I did it one half and then the other half, and the half that I did from the outside like this in, because a lot of times I like to fill in the background and then do the internal stuff. That was much, much worse when it came to popping drills. When I worked on the other side, I worked from the inside out, and that made it went much, much better, and I didn't have nearly as much of an issue. So this is one that I would love to kind of see how some of these look with their newer render and the newer quality, where you won't have those same issues. But anyways, that was my 5th finish for August, 37th finish for the year, and my 84th finish total for this one right here. Next up, we have Ghosty Friends. This is from the artist Ariel West, and it comes to us from Jaded Gem Shop. I am in love with this kit. It was one of my early purchases from Jade was this one here. But actually, well, no, this was not one of my early purchases. This is one that I put on my wish list immediately, but this is a hand charted, pixel charted kit from her. It's a 33 by 43 round drill canvas, and it comes with 16 colors, no specials added onto it, because that was before she started adding the specials into her hand charted or pixel charted kits. I started it on the 1st of September, finished it on the 3rd of September, and it took me 7 hours and 52 minutes. And my thoughts on this, it was like, I love the pixel charting. No symbol issues on this one, so that was something that we gave her feedback on, the symbols that we had issues with, and she's been like, Jade is a dream to work with because she works on that and kind of like changes symbols as needed. And I did do a color swap, so I used the extra greens of the cat's eyes, our little cat. I used those extra greens of the eyes to take this ghosty and change it from being a purple ghosty that you see over here into a green ghosty. So yes, if you look closely, you're gonna see the purple background of the drills. You can see that as I turn on the light, you can see the purple background in our ghosty, but when you look at it like this, it doesn't really stand out nearly as much, and it actually goes. It looks fine. So I thought that was fun to do, a color change in a kit. I didn't have enough of because I just used the extras that came with the kit for the eye color to do our little ghosty. And I did not have enough to do this ghosty over here as well. So I just did the one ghost and left this ghost to be purple, which worked because he's coming out of a purple eye. So that just kind of like flowed to me. So this one was my first finish for September, my 38th finish of the year, and my 85th finish of all time. And I loved working on it. It was super fun. I did quite a number of kits in September, especially these smaller ones. I just was cruising in September. Next up, we have Autumn Treat, and this is by Hey Soleil Arts. And this is from Bella Art Diamonds. It's this one right here. It is a 35 by 47 round drill canvas, and it comes in 34 colors, and it came with 2 ABs. So I started this one on the 3rd of September, and I finished it on the 6th of September. And it did take me 9 hours and 35 minutes to do. So thoughts on this one, super, super cute. There was a lot of trash, and there were a lot of different drill colors that were kind of like stuck together and clumped together. I did love the cinnamon look that you see on our foam right up here. The cinnamon right there. I think that look turned out fantastic. That looked really good. So the charting on this was done very, very well. I was pleased with that. Yeah, that was really what I had to say on this one. But like the canvas was great. It was just the I had a ton of trash, and for me to remark on the amount of trash I had in something is kind of like odd. That means that there was a lot for me to do that. And then the drills, the colors that were sticking together where you have to use a grinder to get them apart, which is always annoying. But this is my second finish for September, my 39th finish for the year, and my 86th finish of all time. And that was this one right here. So I loved it. It was super fun. All right, next up, oh my goodness, this one was a like a must-have kit. As soon as it came out, I had to buy this kit. I think I was in the middle of like a low buy at the time, but I had to purchase this kit. I was basically on like a pseudo no buy, but no buys don't work for me, so really it was a low buy. But this is Stacked Pumpkins with Sunflowers by Angela Anderson. This is from Diamond Art Club. It is a 50.7 by 69 centimeter canvas, 57 colors. It's rounds because I prefer my rounds. It came with 1 AB and 2 fairy dust, so only 3 specials, but I did do the DP with Sparklers enhancement kit for this one. So there are a lot more special wise in this than what you would think. So my thoughts on this one, well, I started it on the 6th of September, finished it on the 9th of September, and it took me 20 hours and 18 minutes to do. So for a kit this size, that's really fast. My thoughts on this, I loved doing the DP with Sparklers enhancement kit, and I flew through this canvas. It was so fast. For the fact that this big as this one is, and it only took me like 20 hours, and it's not like a pure color blocking. Like, yes, the background has a lot of color blocking in those background shades, but once you get into the details, not really. And you can see like how much extra bling there is added into this. It was so much fun to do. So here is these are all of the changes that were done. So we added some ABs, some crystals, some sparklers, pearls for squares, pixie dust, and pearls for squares, and then crystals. So we had a lot of changes that were done on this one, and you can see just looking at like the depth of colors that we have in here. So we have an AB right there, and then we have like the crystal, and then we have some pixie dust down there, and then we have all of the detailing that you see right in here, a couple different pixie dust, the pearls for squares, all the things, ABs, all of it, and it turned out fantastic, and I love how this one looks. This one was super fun to do. So I started, this one was my 3rd finish for September, my 40th finish for the year, and my 87th finish of all time. So that was something that I loved it. It was super fun. And since I was working on this one, of course we were in September, so I also had to work on Happy Jack's Glitter Moon. And this is by the artist Aaron Bartlett. This is from Diamond Art Club as well. It is a 50.7 by 68.9 round drill canvas, and it came with 38 colors and 3 ABs. That's Mochi's making noise over there. 3 ABs. I started this one on the 10th of September, and I finished it on the 29th of September, and it took me 17 hours and 28 minutes to do. So my thoughts on this, confetti hell in all capitals. That's what I wrote for this one here, because of like all of this magic sparkle that you see in there. The confetti just killed me, and it was like a slog to get through the background of this because of that confetti, and I'll give you guys a close-up so you can see the degree of confetti for it. I underestimated that part. I needed more bling in the pumpkins. I did add some bling to mine. I added 2 ABs and 7 fairy dust, and I just went off of what I had. So a lot of that you'll see is like ABs into the mouth of our little pumpkin down in here. So we've got a lot of ABs there, and then I added in some dust drills, more AB, and then this one has a ton of bling in it. So this has got AB, like the eyes are AB, dust for the 3 different colors in the eyes. And then in here, we've got ABs and the dust drills and more dust drills for our little pumpkin. So you can see there's our little dusting right in there. And then the top pumpkin I didn't have the colors in stock already readily available because I didn't buy anything to do this one. So he really doesn't have any added bling besides in the mouth for the ABs. And here I will show you some of that close-up of the confetti. I mean, look at those color changes. There is probably like every color in the canvas in this tiny little area, and that was just totally took me out. It looks fantastic when done, but doing it was not enjoyable because like from here to here to here, this is like solid confetti in that entire area. It looks like you've got a lot of black, but you really do not because it's so many of the oranges and reds and browns in there. So that just killed me. So I started this one was my 4th finish for September, my 41st finish for the year, and my 88th finish of all time for this canvas here. So that is our Happy Jack's Glitter Moon. And I did have to, like, this kit kept selling out on me. I really wanted it, and I think I missed it like 3 separate times. I missed buying this kit by like minutes or hours, depending on the time. So to finally get this canvas, was a huge win for me, and I had to work on it because this was one that I really wanted, but I'm glad it's done because that confetti was brutal. Next up, we have the 12 Days of Spookmas, and this is from Diamond Art Studio UK. It was my first time doing something of theirs. It is a 45 by 50 square drill canvas with 32 colors and 7 ABs. So this was one of their chart to art or their cross stitch canvases, cross stitch conversions. So it was like the Advent one. So each day you would do one of these little sections for it. I started this one on the 1st of October and I finished it on the 14th of October, and it took me 22 hours and 3 minutes to do. So my thoughts on this, it was a cross stitch conversion / a mystery hybrid. So the background, right, the background border area did have the symbols charted onto it like a mystery in the black and the white. And then each of these openings, you had to then do the cross stitch conversion for each of the windows that you see. And there was some trash, not a lot, it was enough for me to remark on it, which means that there was a fair amount of trash. I'm not super picky. And there was so much orange. Like that was the killer was all of the orange of this background. I ended up going through and to get it done and over with, did all of the orange in the background first, and then kind of worked in filling in the windows. I loved days 6, 7, 10, and 11 were my favorite. So 6 and 7, we have our little rip, our little bats. And then we have 10 was Frankenstein's monster's hand, and then the cauldron. Those ones were my favorite ones to do. I liked the ABs in this. I thought it was excellent. I did notice after a while that the background in each of these windows is identical. So it's the exact same background in every single window with these clouds. So it did kind of it was easy to do because you were like, oh, hey, it's the same exact thing I've done for the last 12 days as I was doing it. But it did kind of get a little tedious having the exact same cloud pattern on this. This was my first finish for October, my 42nd finish for the year, and my 89th finish of all time, and also my 11th cross stitch conversion canvas. So, because that one I kind of rated as a little bit of both. So it was fun to do, but I don't know that I'll do another one just because of how much of the border was for that. But it was fun. And then we have the Crafter's Den Autumn Mystery, which is the mystery number 3. And this is from the artist Mystique Arts. This comes to us from Jaded Gem Shop. It is a 50 by 67. Rounds is what I actually got this one in rounds. So I did a mystery in rounds. Crazy, huh? And it has 46 colors. And it came with 2 fairy dust and 2 crystal on this one here. So I started this one on the 29th of September and I finished it on the 27th of October. And it took me 19 hours and 58 minutes to do, so not very long. My thoughts. It was definitely different working on a round mystery. That was something that was it was definitely a little bit of a different experience than it was working on a square mystery. It's a little bit larger than the square version of this kit would have been, but that's what you expect when you go from square to round. And the background is in color when you work on a mystery like this. The symbols are not in color, but there is some color to the background because you need that so that way it doesn't shine white through the canvas or right through the drills. The colors were pleasant, but it did get kind of boring working in the exact same color palette for the entire thing. It looks phenomenal when done. It just kind of got a little tedious when it was the exact same color palette for the whole canvas because it's all those reds and purples. So that part did get a little bit tedious, but I love how she turned out and she looks fantastic. This was my second finish for October, my 43rd finish of all time, and my 90th, or 43rd finish for the year and my 90th finish of all time. And this I think is the last one that I finished before moving from California to Florida. So this was literally this is the last thing. I finished it the day before we drove away kind of a thing. So I didn't have any additional finishes for a few more days after that. So next up we have Cup of Bear, and this comes to us from Enabler's Outpost, and the artist for this is actually Elizabeth over at Enabler's Outpost. So this is a 30 by 30 round drill canvas. It comes in 13 colors, and it included 2 fairy sparkle dust drills in it as well. I started this one on the 5th of November, finished it on the 6th of November, and it took me 3 hours and 23 minutes, and it was one of their sampler packs where you get the kits to kind of mix it up and kind of get the feel for what is what with their new canvas. Like the canvas feels totally different. The quality is spectacular. I loved working on this, but it gives you an idea of that newer quality when they kind of moved things up and switched things over, and it looks fantastic, and it's all in the hand charting. So this one, my thoughts, absolute dream, definite improvement. So fun, love the snackies. That's what I wrote on this. This was my first finish for November, my 44th finish for the year, and my 91st finish of all time. So that's that one there. And then next up, we have Hello Wingspan. So this is, I did the not safe for work version. This is by the artist Tony Viento, and it comes to us from Jaded Gem Shop. I worked on this for Night Court in November. So this one was super fun to do. I worked on it for Night Court in November. It is a 50 by 65 round drill canvas with 40 colors. No specials. I didn't chart any specials into it. I felt like the image didn't really call for any specials to be charted. I started this one on the 10th of November, finished it on the 24th of November, and it did take me 22 hours and 3 minutes. My thoughts on this, there were no difficult symbols. Everything was easy and straightforward to do. So that was definitely something that I had noticed was an improvement over previous ones. I'm not showing you guys like this much of it just because it gets a little risque. Not really anything major or anything like that, but you can see what the image looks like. But if you go to Jade's website, my thoughts, loved the contrast of the blues of the background and his wings to the skin tones. I felt that was an excellent contrast of coloring with that, and it was really enjoyable. Even this is one of her hybrid charted kits, and it worked out perfectly. I feel like that confetti comes well together. One thing that I did have to do, there's like this little spot right here that was supposed to be like a square of one color, and when you stood back and looked at it, the shadowing of it, it just looked off having them all the same color right there. So I did kind of swap some drills around to make it look a little less symmetrical, and I like how it turned out. I think it looks much better that way than what it looked like in the original. Because in the original, you can see here, this shadow right there is very rectangular, but it fades better in the original. And when you have that kind of shadowing on this, it was literally all one color, and it looked like a little box, and it just did not look right. This is my second finish for November, my 45th finish for the year, and my 92nd finish of all time. So I was definitely moving a little bit slower in that time frame, but I was also, you know, living in the RV, like had just moved cross country, all of that. So I was not working as quickly as I normally would. Next up is this beauty right here. This is Konashi by the artist Alora Pautrat, and this comes to us from Diamond Artisan Shop. I buy every single Alora kit that comes out. This is a 50 by 70. It is a square because this is one of her very, very first releases that she ever did. This is the version 1 before she switched to new manufacturer, supplier, and new charting and all of that. So this was the very first one. It was 38 colors, and it came with 4 ABs, and then she added an extra AB for the petals of the trees right there. That was an extra one that she sent in addition. I started this one on the 8th of November, finished it on the 29th of November. It took me 30 hours and 20 minutes to do. So my thoughts on this one, colors were amazing. It was hard to complete. Had to complete the, oh yes, that was what I was like, what was I saying? So I did have to complete the rendering, did not show this power line all the way through. So I did have to basically make the power line go through right through here because it was not on the render. And there were definitely some trashy and some tabby drills in this, and a lot of confetti because this one was computer charted, so it was a ton of confetti, especially when we're looking at the eaves right in there. I love how it turned out. It looks fantastic. And again, this is the version 1, one of her very first 3 released, like one of the very first kits she released is this one right here. So that's something that if you buy this kit now, it's going to be a totally different experience than what I had, but it was a ton of confetti. But the colors were so dreamy, and I loved it. So I started this was finish number 3 for November, 46th finish for the year, and my 93rd finish of all time. And that's the last kit that's in my first logbooks, and I have to switch logbooks because that is logbook number 1 completely filled. So now we're going to move over to logbook number 2, which is the logbook I'm actually working in right now. So now we roll into my Christmassy December kits. So I did decide to work on a fair number of like wintry Christmassy themed kits in December because I felt like I needed to. So first up we have Mickey Mouse ornament. This is from Diamond Art Club on Disney canvas. This is a 33 by 33 round drill kit. This is one that you had to order online. I had to order it off of, like, I think Joann's or something like that, I believe, for this one. It has 18 colors, which included 1 AB, 2 iridescent, 4 fairy dust, and 3 specials. So it came with all the specials on this one here. It was fantastic. I started this on the 29th of November and finished it on the 2nd of December, and it took me only 5 hours and 40 minutes. So my thoughts on this, the specials were absolute key to this painting, having all those specials. The adhesive was very light and kind of subpar, so that was an issue that I had, was working with this adhesive. Which I hadn't had issues with adhesive in a hot minute, but it was very annoying. And it left, so I had issues with that, especially with it not being very sticky for a lot of areas, so that was rather annoying. But I did have fun doing this, especially because of the specials. Because basically you're seeing all of these are specials, so I'll bring us up so we can take a closer look at that. So here you can see there, look at all of those specials in those little pom-pom balls right there. There's tons of, like, 2 different colors of dust here. This is solid green fairy dust. This is green fairy dust with a white background. All of that bright green is color of my car, but it's also a fairy dust. And then look at all of the specials that we have right in here. Like, they are fantastic. There's like 3 different colors right there, and then the crystals are in there too. Fantastic. Loved that one. I thought that was an excellent use of specials. This was my first finish for December, my 47th finish of the year, and my 94th finish of all time. So that was that one right there. Next up, we have Xmas Cat by the artist Alice. This is by the artist Alice GH, and this was from Bella Art Diamonds. 33 by 37 brown drill canvas, 20 colors, which included 2 ABs. Started it on the 2nd of December, finished it on the 4th of December, and it took me 5 hours and 58 minutes. So my thoughts on this one, the adhesive was kind of lackluster as well. I wondered if maybe it was the cold from where I was at, because it was quite chilly. And some of the loose trash in the drills kind of ended up scattered about, but that was kind of one of the things. Also, I noted there's this green line right there, and I felt like that color does not stand out very well on this image. So I felt like that green could have been like a special, or could have been brighter, a different shade than the body of the cat, because you don't really see the green bringing the lights together on this, which is something that, yeah, there's green in there. You just really can't tell unless you're looking at it very closely that there's green in there. This was my 2nd finish for December, 48th finish for the year, and 95th finish of all time. Next up, we have Hello Squirrel, also by Alice GH. This is from Bella Art Diamonds as well. And this is a 35 by 47 round drills, 39 colors, which includes 3 ABs. Started on the 4th of December, finished on the 8th of December, and it took me 11 hours and 26 minutes. My thoughts on this one, I literally wrote checkerboarding hell, so I did not enjoy doing this one in any way, shape, or form. Turned out nice, but I did not enjoy the process. And if you want to know if I actually, I literally underlined did not enjoy right there. The drills were fine in this one, no issues with that, but it definitely was a lot of confetti, and a lot more than I'm used to confetti-wise on a Bella Art Diamonds canvas. So, this whole thing, pure confetti, and then, of course, you have the checkerboarding with the color transitions, and which is normal, I expect that. The entire little squirrel was not color blocking. There's multiple colors in our little squirrel to give him a textured look, and then all of this right here, which was so tedious, because that's probably 5 colors. Mixed 5 or 6 different shades right in here, so it's a lot. It looks like it's only 2 colors, but really it's 5 or 6 colors, and that was just so tedious to do. Did not enjoy it. I'm glad it's done and I don't have to worry about it, because it was not enjoyable to do, just because I'm not a checkerboarding confetti person, and I found that very tedious for this one. So this one was my 3rd finish for December, my 49th finish for the year, and my 96th finish of all time. Next up, we have Happy Snowman. This is from the artist Donna Gelsinger, and this was from the Advent box. This is the Diamond Art Club 22.8 by 30.8 round drill canvases, 41 colors, included 1 AB and 3 fairy dust. I started this on the 8th of December, finished it on the 8th of December, so it was a one-day kit for me. It took me 6 hours and 6 minutes. My thoughts, it was a great blend of color blocking and confetti. The background balanced out the scarf. Having the color blocking in the background here really balanced out the pure confetti that you had right in here to do this scarf and make that scarf look so good. I did find, again, this one had a little bit of subpar adhesive. But then I was like, well, could it have been the weather? But if it was the weather, I would have expected every single kit that I worked on to have that same subpar adhesive potentially. And it was only some of them. So this one did have some subpar adhesive. And I love how it turned out. Not normally my typical style, but it's like it came in the advent box, so I did it. This was my 4th finish for December, my 50th finish for the year, and my 97th finish of all time was that one. Now we have one of my absolute favorite ones to do. I absolutely love this little guy. This is Ruffles. I've been talking a while. I needed some water. It's by the artist Kristen Turchek. It is from Diamond Artisan Shop. I got it in rounds, so it's a 33.9 by 33.9 round drill canvas, because now Brandy over at Diamond Artisan Shop, she allows her kits to be, basically you can get her kits in either round or square. I love my rounds, so I buy them in rounds. Now that I have that choice, I get them in rounds. So it was super, super cute. I have a friend that's working on this right now. Katie's working on it right now. And she's doing this same kit in squares. So I'm really excited to see how it compares between the round and the squares. Because the square is a 30 by 30. So this is 35 colors, 1 AB, 3 of the dust drills, or glimmer as she refers to them. Started it on the 9th of December, finished it on the 12th of December, and it took me 5 hours and 51 minutes. Thoughts? This was a perfect blend. I loved it. I loved the fact that it was line blocking, so I don't mind line blocking. I actually enjoy doing line blocking, so all of like the hair and everything was line blocking. Some line blocking in the top part of the sky, and then color blocking down along the sides, but not a ton of color blocking. So it was the perfect balance of mild color blocking with the line blocking, and the colors were so dreamy. I love these colors. I think it's a cutest little monster, and these colors are so fantastic. So for our AB, we have this, it's a beautiful blue AB that you can see this like light shade right there. It's a medium toned AB, and it's bordered by a blue dust drill. So you can see there's our AB, and then right next to it, that lighter tone, that is a dust drill. And then we have a yellow dust drill, and then coming down here, we have the white dust. So we have blue, yellow, white, and let's see. Yeah, that's it, because we had the 3 dust. So yeah, super fun. Loved this. This was my 5th finish for December, my 51st finish for the year, and my 98th finish of all times. That was a pleasant one. Next up, we have Season's Greetings Tree. This is from Britta Zingfert. And this is from Diamond Art Club. It was also an advent calendar, one from the 2024 Advent. This kit was 22.8 by 33 round drills, 50 colors, so a ton of colors in this tiny little thing. Came with 2 ABs and 2 fairy dust. I started this one on the 15th of December, and I finished it on the 16th of December, quote, 16th of December, not really, but yes. And it took me 5 hours and 46 minutes. So this one, yes, you have a nice plain background, but all of this is essentially pure confetti to get it to look like it does and give that coloring there. So that part was like, ooh, color blocking background, confetti internal. I did run out of DMC 135, which is, I believe, the yellowy tone. It's behind right here. Yes, so that is going to be our yellow AB, yellowish AB. I did run out of that, so this little section right here, it's a small section, but that little AB section right there, I had to wait to finish until I got the new drills in. So I had messaged Diamond Art Club or emailed Diamond Art Club, and they went ahead and sent me those drills. Sorry about that. I was trying to get rid of a notification and I accidentally clicked on it. So because I ran out of those drills and I had to end up ordering more, so I emailed Diamond Art Club and they sent them away. I still counted it as a finish, even though I had like 10 drills that I still had to place. And I didn't have my hoard of drills with me because they were all sitting in storage because I was still in the RV while working on this. So that was something that I couldn't just fill it in with what I had in my own hoard, which that's why I saved my extras. So that way I can do that, but I didn't have them to be able to finish. So this one stood unfinished for a little bit because of that. This was my 6th finish for December, my 52nd finish for the year, and my 99th finish of all time. That was this one right here. And then we get this lovely one right here. This is Neighbor. This is by the artist Sevi, and it comes to us from Diamond Artisan Shop. It is a 33.9 by 56.4 round drills, 24 colors, and it came with 2 glow and 2, like 1 glow, one weird one, like maybe 2 glow, 1 glow, 2 glow, something like that. 2 glimmer, and so I think one is a glow, and then the other one is like a bubbly type looking one. That's, I don't think a glow. I don't know. I'd have to turn off the light to see, but I don't feel like doing that. So I started this one on the 21st of on the 17th of December, finished it on the 22nd of December, and it took me 8 hours and 9 minutes, or 29 minutes. Thoughts, absolute dream. I loved working on it. This is one of my favorite canvases because, I mean, it's Totoro, and I love a good Totoro. I'm a huge Ghibli fan. If you have not gathered that from anything that I've mentioned before, I love Ghibli. And having this one with Totoro, you can see we get the white background. Oh, I actually have a drill. I specifically pulled out my 5200 drills so I could add the drill that I am missing. Because these ones, like, part of why I needed to film this is I had a whole bunch of kits, all of the kits from when I was in the RV, basically rolled up into rolls and like with plastic wrapped around them to tie them in place, and they've just been thrown around from place to place. So that was something that was, yeah, very, very much tedious, and didn't have good, there we go, now I have the drill in place, because that was going to bother me if I didn't put that drill back right there that I was missing, because it just got beat up, fully exposed to anything and everything, all the dirt, all the dust, everything, which is not how I like to store my canvases. So thoughts, absolute dream. Drills were wonderful, and the glows were kind of neat. First time working with glows like that. And this was a fantastic kit. It was my 100th kit of all time, so I really enjoyed that aspect. Sorry, I just realized I'm not zoomed out. Yes, so there, that's better. I was like, why is it zoomed in so much? I forgot to zoom back out after my little malfunction. So this was this is kit number 7 for December, 53rd kit for the year, and my 100th kit of all time. So that was I planned that specifically because I wanted to do something I wanted and really enjoyed for kit number 100. I completely forgot about kit number 50, so that's why kit number 50 ended up being for the year, ended up being the snowman. So I was like, I have to have something I really like for kit number 100. And that was this one. So I really, really like it. I love how it turned out. Super, super fantastic. I have every single one in this entire series, because Brandy over at Diamond Artisan Shop has a bunch of these by the same artist, by Sevi Yummy, and they have that same look to the same exact style, everything. So I have all of them in the set that she's released. So yes, that's something I'm super happy about. And this is the first one that I did. Next up, we have Mele Kalikimaka. This is a Disney canvas from Diamond Art Club. It is a 33 by 38. This was, I believe, another one that you had to buy from Joann's. So I got the Mickey ornament, and then this one from Joann's. It's rounds, 26 colors, includes 1 fairy dust and 4 iridescent drills, which are crystals, in case you're wondering. Diamond Art Club calls them different things, so it's crystals. I started this one on 24th of December, so it was Christmas Eve, and I finished it on the 25th of December, which was Christmas Day. And it took me 5 hours and 22 minutes to do this canvas here. So my thoughts, so cute. I love this little guy. I loved working on Stitch, and it was quite quick to work up. I didn't have any drill or adhesive issues, which was a nice break because this was a Diamond Art Club canvas, and I had like a rash of canvases from them that had adhesive issues. I loved the special drill placement on this. So all of our crystals are iridescent drills, or the lights. So all of those light bulbs are the special drill. And then we have the fairy dust in little Stitch's little scarf. That's going to be the red is in up on the top on his hat. That's also fairy dust. This was my 8th finish for December and my 54th finish for the year, 101st finish of all time. Next up is another Stitch canvas, because I was like, if I finish one, I have to do the other. So this is Hawaiian Kalikimaka, also a Disney canvas. This is from Diamond Art Club as well. It is a 55.8 by 42.8, so a nice smaller sized kit. Square drills, as you can see, and it's kind of cool seeing the difference in the in like how it comes through rendering and looking when you have a round, which I just showed, versus this one as a square. 39 colors, 1 AB, 4 iridescent, and then 2 fairy dust. I started this one on the 25th of December on Christmas Day, finished it on the 29th of December, so it didn't take too long. And it did take me 16 hours and 25 minutes because I am much slower when I work with squares. I'm always slower with squares than I am with rounds. My thoughts, super pleasant, not a super tight grid for this one, so I enjoyed that because I could do all of this color blocking in the background with like no problem. It was wonderful. The sand down in here is all fairy dust, and I love that. I love that the sand is fairy dust. All of our lights are crystals. We have some red accents in the bow and in his hat and in his scarf. That's also fairy dust. And then we have an AB in here as well. Where is our AB? Because it said it was like one AB. Didn't it? Yes. Okay, the white, the 5200. So all of the white sparkle that you see back here, that is an AB for all of those white drills. So it's super fun. This was my 9th finish for December, my 55th finish for the year, and my 102nd finish of all time. And I'm going to pull my previous little stitch back up so you guys can kind of see how they look, seeing a round drill versus a square of basically the same exact pose. It's literally, essentially, we have taken stitch from here and added a background over here, because stitch holding the holding everything is identical and then the light strand is identical placement wise as well. Like that's literally the exact same thing. We have just taken him with the plain background and now added all this extra stuff like the gift boxes, the monstera leaves, the other leaves, the palm fronds, the ukulele, and the hibiscus right here. We added all of that into this one background wise, but stitch is exactly identical. So it's kind of cool seeing that difference in the round versus the square, which is why I worked on both of them like that. So next up, we have a super cutie pie. This one is My Cup of Bee. This is one that I ordered and it came in and then I had to like work on immediately because it was so cute. This is My Cup of Bee by the artist Cute But Weird, and this comes to us from Mooney Made. It is a 30 by 30 square drills, 32 colors, and it came with 5 ABs. So this one I started on the 30th of December and I finished it on the 31st of December, and it did take me 7 hours and 56 minutes to do. So I did notice the drill field was definitely much more compact in this and a little bit closer together, and the drills were also much higher quality than the previous square Mooney Made that I had done from her first releases. My thoughts, there were some tabby drills on here, not many, but there were some tabby drills, which is why you'll see like random spaces in my background because I'm not picky with my trash and I don't pick them out. So you'll see a lot of like random gappiness, but that's because of the tabby drills creating those gaps, not because of the gappiness of the canvas. There's no gappiness. There was a lot of confetti in here to do this. It was very much a confetti-ish type kit for like this detail work right in here. That was a lot of confetti. And then you also had some, yeah, that was really where it was, but it was so, so cute. And since it was so small, I didn't have any issues with the confetti working on something as little as this. So that was something that I was like, okay, I can deal with it for something cute and little like this. That wasn't an issue. This was my 10th finish for December, my 56th finish for the year, and my 103rd finish of all time. I definitely flew through everything in December, but granted I had a lot of little kits, but I did a lot in December. It was kind of like my most productive month. And then we come to my last 2 canvases. So first up, we have Temperature Dragon, and I ordered the pattern off of Etsy, and then this was one of my first cross-stitch conversions that I had purchased stuff for. So this is an Evermoment canvas and my own drills. So I did the canvas from Evermoment, and then I had my own drills for this one. This is a 31 by 34.8, and it is square drills, as you can see. I started it on the 19th of May, and then I finished it on the 31st of December, and it took me 16 hours and 20 minutes cumulative to working on it month by month. My thoughts, so basically what you can't really tell, so the background is a nice gray, and then the outlining is also a nice gray, and then we have the 310. Everything else that's not those 2 shades of gray and the 310, everything else in here is a dust drill. So I ended up using what are the Bella Dust, I think, whatever they're called, but I used Bella Art Dana Cole's dust drills because I had gotten a set of their rounds and a set of their squares. So all of this is solid dust, as you can see looking at those colors. That was this one right here, and it was super cute. I have not trimmed the canvas or anything, so it's still this size. And my color palette for this one, let me pull up right in here. So this right here, this one I did as daily lows because my other canvas I did as daily highs. So this was Daily Lows, and these are the colors that I did in like the color range that I did on it. So as you can see, that it was like a couple degrees per each color. And then I added like the 95 and higher is this color right in there, that really bright stuff for it. So this is, I've kept these because this is something I want to put these into my logbook. I just have not done that yet to kind of track. That's what I had for this one. It is my 11th finish for December, my 57th finish for the year, and my 104th finish of all time. And like I said, it was Daily Lows. So when you worked on this, it was basically this first part here was January right here. And then we went into February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November right here, and then this one right here was December. So you can see how it kind of like worked its way around in this spiral. The spiral. We have our cooler colors here because it was much colder because that was January, February, March. And you can see in April we started climbing up temperature wise. On May, definitely hot into June. July, super hot. August, still super hot. September, hot, and then started cooling off because it started here and then it worked its way out. October was kind of a combination of the hot, and then it kind of cooled off a little bit. And because you can see we went from hot to a little bit to moderate, hot to moderate, moderate into cool for November, and then December was kind of like a spattering of colors. So this one was super fun to do. I enjoyed it. It's definitely a little bit of a different experience working on a cross stitch conversion, and especially something that you're working on for so long. It's not like I'm just sitting there doing it in one sitting. This is a pattern. I had bought it on like January 1st, planning to do this, but it took me a few months to get all of my supplies and actually get started. But I do like how it turned out. And that is my temperature dragon. So next up, we have probably one of my favorite ones that I've done. This is my Spooky Library temperature sal. So I did this one. The pattern I got off of Etsy. This is a 50 by 82.8 square drills. It has like 60 colors in it. I did this one. I started on the 28th of March and I finished it on the 31st of December. And it took me 56 hours and 39 minutes cumulative to do this kit here. I did source, most of the drills were ones that, well, basically all of the drills were ones that I had myself already, kind of in my hoard from some just like had accumulated or purchased some random cheap like art dot sets of drills. And then like the background right here, the trickiest part for this was this 310 background up into this row and then this row right here. Those two shelves, because I was just using like random 310s, the really low quality ones. And then I ended up being like, okay, these are not fitting well. They're popping up. I need to seal those ones because they're not working well. And then once I started, then I was like, I'm going to need more 310. So I bought like a big mass bulk of 310 off of AliExpress to get that many 310s. And that's what I used for the rest of the shelves from like shelf 3 on down. I used the 310 that I had purchased, and that went, oh, I should probably turn that off. But I don't know. I feel like it gives you some color, but not really. I forgot that I had it on. And that was something that was like, it went well, but also the 310 did much better down lower, and I didn't have that same popping tendency for this. But I used low quality drills, which definitely impacted how it turned, which definitely impacted like the experience of doing it, because some of them were super, super cheap drills. And then I do have plans on the bottom. At some point I want to braid like 2024 on the bottom and then do like a little grid of what the color palette was for the color ranges for this one. So that's something that I do want to do, but I have not gotten around to doing yet. So this was my 12th finish for December, my 58th finish for the year, and my 105th finish of all time. So I definitely finished more in 2024 than I did in 2023, but I also started diamond painting in April of 2023. So really the first year was April through December, and I did a lot of smaller kits, so they went a lot faster because I had a lot of Amazon kits that I started with. And then 2024, I didn't get as many, but I also did a lot more of the other projects. So I think it was something like total for 2024, I had like I think I had 98 finishes that I logged in my Gems Flow, which includes all of the 58 of these. It includes all of the Paintgems, all of the mini Dazzles, and all of the mini kits as well. So those were all counted in the finishes for the cumulative for the year, which ended up being like 99 98 projects or something like that. But for kits that I finished is the 58. And then I had a bunch of the other things that I did. So this one, super love how it turned out. You can see this one, so I also moved in 2024. I moved from California to Florida. So that also affected things. But the nice thing is, like, the temperature in Florida was also very similar towards the fall as what the temperature was in the desert. So with this, you can kind of see we started with the really cool colors. So where the daily highs were into like the 50s. So we have some 50s, some 60s, and then 50s, and then it jumped up and we had a few days right in here. Those are 80s. So this is January, mind you. So 80 in the desert, where we went from 50 up to 80, which is crazy for January, but that's normal for the desert. So this is how I logged this one for each month for my daily high temperature. And you can see we had 50, 60, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50. And then we jumped up into the 80s, 89 on that day, 80s, 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 down into the 60s, and then into the 70s. And then those are 70s, and then back up into the 80s. And then we even had we even had like that 1 day or 2 days, like right in here, that were up into the 90s, which is crazy. So the purple is 90s. That's January, that went all the way from 50s into 90s for daily highs in January. And then we have our February, which is a little bit tamer because it was a little cooler. March, also a little bit milder. It was like 50s, or basically it was like 60s and 70s, 50s, 60s, and 70s in March. April started to warm up a little bit. We had our 60s, 70s, 80s, a couple 90 days. And then we rolled into May. In May is when we started getting hot, because we started in like the 70s, a little bit in the 80s, and then all these purples are 90s. So that's May. We were up into the 90s in May. And then June, we really broke into the hundreds. So this shade is the hundreds. And then we had like a day or two in June that went up a little bit higher. So that is 111 right there. And then the end of June, we were in the 110s for all of those. July was just hot. So we had hundreds. So basically July was a lot of like 110 plus, a couple days down into the 90s and the hundreds. It was 110 plus, and then this is like the 120s. So those 2 days mean that it was above 120 for those 2 days. That's also another day that was below 120 in August. So that's basically everything like right through here, from like here to here was like, you know, basically a 3-month period of essentially 110 or more. And then it started cooling down. So that's August, here's September, still into the hundreds. October, still into the hundreds with some 70s, 80s, 90s, right through there. And this is kind of like October right through here. It actually dropped right as I was leaving. So October 29th is when I left. So that would be right here. So you can see how it had dropped temperature-wise in the desert, but then it stayed like that because I did those first couple days, the 29th, there's the 30th and the 31st. This was my last day in California. These 2 days are the 30th, the 31st, and the 1st. Those were in San Antonio, so very much the same temperature. And then from here on, that was in Florida. And you can see how from here, it just kind of like blended right in with it. And I looked, and it was very similar temperatures to what I had in California for that rest of the time. And then you can see our temperatures dropped in December, and we had a lot of like the 50s into 50s and 60s and 70s in December. But that is the last one. I know I went way in depth on that one, and you guys probably are like, oh, that's too much. But I really wanted to showcase that aspect of it for that. But that was my last finish for you guys for the year. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this. I know it was a lot, and if you watched this entire video, like, kudos to you, because that is a lot to watch this entire video. But anyways, I will not wait until, you know, like the end of April, beginning of May to post my 2024 or 2025 year in review next year. But yeah, anyways, stay tuned because we roll into May is my 2-year YouTube anniversary. So I will be doing my hoard videos, the stash vids of all of my stuff. I'll be doing that in May for you guys. So look forward to that coming up and get to see an updated look at my hoard. But have a great day, everybody. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.